To even make it worse, I'm the lawmaker, the first citizen of this place, guaranteed by the Constitution. I don't know nothing about your concession. For me, I'm not against investment for our people. I'm concerned about a few things. Number one, what agreement give you the right?
I got good news for you. Do you know that Myean in the United States of America she'll be having her hard table Doma Festival in Maryland, USA? And she said everybody that going to that Doma Festival there, they must carry small thing for school for children. Like go bear, shoes, children clothes, life jacket, and all those kind of things. They must carry there, and she will bring it in Liberia so she can share it with the children in Grand Basso, Little Basso.
I answer a question. The school then you put life jacket to it.
The reason why they put in life jacket inside, she will be bringing life jacket to share because the children in Little Basso, when they go to school, they got to get on kino to cross the water. You know, that's what she want to get in so they can be safe.
I know that when the children want that when the children they can cross in the kino to go where the kino to go.
And the time will be August 9 in the United States of America. So it will not be easy. And at the 5th year celebration, she been having celebration, but they want it will be special. So everybody are going there, we carry something. Yeah.
That my brother want to tell you, I can be praying for him inside the chair there.
I know, but I know now.
So that the cheese I can get you. I go real.
I don't thank you very much.
Okay.
People now.
So my people that are there, your year people that are going for the Doma Festival in Maryland, in America, you please carry something for the children of Little Basso. It's not easy.
Yeah. Thank you, Myean, for my children in Little Basso, yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Thursday edition of
ladies and gentlemen. Facebook, Instagram, the entire lane of social media. It's July 26th celebration. The First State Old Timers Post Association of Delaware, in collaboration with Delaware Liberian Association, present to you and yours Independence Day festivities to begin with Friday, July 25th ball and dinner. Address is 627 Smyrna Clayton Boulevard in Smyrna, Delaware. Doors open at 6 p.m. Admission is $50 flat. Then on Saturday, July 26th, kickball action will bring face to face the beautiful ladies of Invisible 11 versus the talented ladies of Madibaroa. Right after the kickball game, 90 minutes of soccer action will take complete control of the Brandon Wan Stadium. Invisible 11 RE making plans to stop Madibaroa from repeating history. Who's better than the other? Can Invisible 11 sabotage Madibaroa from repeating history? Who owns the First State of Delaware? Well, let's find out. It's going down on Saturday, July 26th. Address is 1400 Fork Road. That's the Brandon Wan Stadium in Wilmington, Delaware. Doors open at 12 noon. Admission for kids absolutely free. Children is $5. Adults is $10. For more information concerning vendors plus more, give us a call at 267-312-2745. You can also call 484-470-9204 and 215-704-1606. Right after the game is the after party. Hey, come on, come to party real hard. After party address is 2411 Lancaster Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware. Then the cookout follow on Sunday. It's absolutely free to all. The women of Delaware will bring the food as the gentlemen of Delaware. They have agreed to come with the drinks. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Cookout address will be announced later. Come and enjoy the Liberian 178th Independence Day celebration with the Delawareans in Delaware. I'm His Eminence G. Francis Torgbean. Hey, come on. Meet me in the First State of Delaware, and I'll be glad to meet you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. That was a beautiful song, IE and the Mighty Barrow. Barrow, money champion. Yeah, IE plays soccer. That's what we are talking about. When we talk about Mighty Barrow, you see King George is here, ready to represent. I see my chief, Mr. Dr. Peabody is here. It looks like you got something yellow on.
But it doesn't represent not yellow people, man. Not at all.
Not at all. Okay, well, I represent IEM Barrow, so I'm here.
Ambassador man representing IE.
Always a Barrow.
We got a cut from you. We got to cut it.
Listen, man, I represent the closing argument. I can't take side. So, but ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there and you're in the New Jersey, New York area, if you are having an event, we have a package for you. If you are in the Boston area, if you're in Atlanta, if you are in California, wherever you are, the closing argument is the place to be. We have a package. You just heard the commercial that was just played exclusively for you. We want to make it quick. We want to make it nice. We want to make it decent. We have a package here for you. Money raised here goes to keeping the lights on back home, paying our young folks, getting them from point A to point B so you can get the news as you want them on the spot. I want to say welcome to Mr. Seaton and Mr. Jabate. He said he's watching from his CMC corner. I don't know from where, but it would be good for you to put where you watching from. I see David Williams from Colorado. That's what I'm talking about. Colorado in the house. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of news to give you. I mean, today I've been going through the newspapers, the different websites, the Washington Post, the New York Times, everywhere you can talk about it. Yeah, Grand Jita County is in the house. That's awesome, awesome. All the way from Grand Jita. There you go. Oliver, cheer. I hope I'm pronouncing your name. That's great. Grand Jita is in the house. Oh, we got somebody from the UK. That's correct. Philip Ketty is watching from the UK. That's correct. And then we have Morris Jabatai. Right? I'm glad you say you're in from Monrovia. Point 4 Junction. Awesome, 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 awesome. Well, welcome, Dr. Peabody. It looks like you've been lifting some weight. I see your gun over there. I see that muscle.
I guess the rice and the potato green can also lift up muscle and stuff like that. But honestly, I should have been doing a lot of running, not really. A lot of running, not lifting weight. Just been doing a lot of running. So
excellent. Young folks who are out there, if you want to look good as we do, like me, I walk 5 miles every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Stay fit. Take care of yourself. Self-care is very, very important. American men say health is wealth. You can have all the money if you are not healthy. It means absolutely that God. Well, good evening, the closing argument team. This is Myean, Gifler, Bala, Kessely. Kessely, where you calling from? Let us know.
he's from Delaware. He's the president of Delaware.
I want to guys closing argument. One of the backbones there though.
One of the backbone for closing argument. Yeah.
Yes.
Strongest supporter. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And Truppen Cooper, she said, I'm here. Cooper, I don't know where you're calling from, but we'd love to know where you're calling from. But guys, Chief, we have a full plate of topics here. And let me introduce the topics here. And I love some of the writers. I've been following, like this guy called Gibson G. Gibson G writes for the Liberia Investigator. And on the lead story there is US $17.8 million budget shortfall in the Liberian budget. We're going back to this shortfall. $17.8 million shortfall, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just for the first quarter of the year. $17.8 million shortfall. And then we go over to Pruitt Clark. And right for the front page Africa, it says U.S. Ambassador Mike Turner announces retirement. That's huge. He just announced the deal with Liberia and Ivanhoe, and all of a sudden he's resigning or he's retiring. And then this one is explosive. It said ex-President Salif said Liberia still fight for reconciliation despite what Waka is doing. This is serious here. We discussed that. Joseph Waka, you got hot mail.
Christopher Hayes Anonuga.
Okay, there you go. The ambassador is calling you, asking where he at, whether he in Ghana or somewhere. The GNC audit uncovers mismanagement, misappropriation in African Development Bond funded money at the Agriculture Ministry. Lots of money being put into that, and is for some reason It is going. And then for Rodney here himself, it's a U.S. shift from aid to trade. Liberia orders to invite to explore mineral resources. And then here we got the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal said basically what they are saying is, was it employed to bait the African leaders into and then push the pressing industrial complex on the African leaders? We need to look at that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go to what's happening, what's trending on the ground itself in Liberia. The CDC Youth League endorses July 17 mass protest in West Point. Okay, then we have Transport Ministry employee voice. Serious concern as to the House Speaker Richard Kuhn accuses police IG of insult or assault. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the topics we will be discussing today. We want you to get involved. You will have your time to call so we can get on this and discuss. This is something that I believe in the Liberia, and I will play a recording that just came in from our local NPR. And I'm getting all the memes from around the world, from everywhere, about our president visit yesterday. We are also going to talk about, hopefully, the House of Representatives Forward River G Community College bill to the Senate for concurrent. Dr. Peabody, let me welcome Honorable Victor Nangwe. Chief, how you doing there?
Hey, Mr. Gateman, what's up, man? Dr. Peabody, how are you?
Good to see you, sir. Good to see you, sir.
Man. What Jerome was telling you, say you lifting coastal in the kitchen, or what did he mean by that? Don't let a man disrespect you like that, man.
Listen, man.
He said lifting some weight, so I said no.
You're lifting some weight. Then he says it's mostly potato grains and cassava.
But how you guys doing? Let me welcome our audience again. Thanks for joining us. I think this Bala guy, I think he won the Lofa citizens in the U.S. I think he won the elections.
Okay.
Yeah, and let me rub it in a little bit to my boy Sise Goya. You know, he's always trolling us, Jerome.
Did he lose in that election?
I think his candidate lost. I'm not going to go any further than that. So, you know, in your face, Sise. But Mr. Bala, thanks for joining us and say hi to the people of Lofa. But please share the show. Invite a friend.
Yeah, share the show. And also, guys, every year as a tradition, we at the Closing Acumen, we raise funds to help the guys in Liberia who are taking our show farther, those who are on the field, who go from other places, and the guy in Cedo who stay all night. You know, we raise funds to just give them a little 26. We don't pay those guys. How they pay them? And they do this job faithfully. So we want to help them for July 26th. So we ask you to please just donate to our Cash App. You know, the number is there. The $ TCA 2500, and there's a Zelle there. Please donate so that we can. We're gonna buy all that amount. If you donate, just write in a live fee how much, or just say I donated, how much you donated. So we'll recognize you. But we want to welcome all of you guys. Share the show, and also with Gilman, let me make one quick announcement. Tomorrow at 4:30, first from 4:30 to 5:30. We'll have the Monrovia College Alumni Association.
Ooh, the monkeys will be in town.
Will be coming on to talk about their event and all of that. Like Mr. Gibbon said earlier, we are here. We can do anything for you if you want us to do it. And what we do, we are very reasonable with the prices and things like that. You know, so if you want us to do anything, carry a convention. We're trying to look for a way now where we'll even carry your show live, your event live for a little fee, just to keep the Closing Acumen going. We are in the process of working with Caribbean. They just reach out to us and we'll send them an invite. Caribbean, they're very interested in doing an ad for them. So guys, hey, but in the meantime, check the Cash App and, give so we can support the guys. So, but good to see everybody. Welcome, New Progressive Sylvester. Good to see everybody.
The powerful Dr. Peabody.
Let me say hi to Yvonne Iyo. Is that how I pronounce it? Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name, Yvonne Iyo. Good evening, guys.
But they say you're not blowing people in that player.
Yeah, I see. She's from Northern Virginia. Thank you very much for tuning in. She's a fan. She follows us everywhere we go. I see Bayon give her Kessely. Good evening. Closing argument. You didn't tell her where you're watching from, so it's all right. But yes, ladies and gentlemen,
watching from Delaware.
Delaware. Okay.
One of our strongest supporter. Kessely. Thank you, Mr. James Nangwe. James Nangwe just sent a gift. Thank you.
That's my son. He's watching.
Your son. Okay, thank you. He sent us $25. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Nangwe, welcome. Thank you very much for helping me, guys.
Watching the show. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Nice.
You see what happens? What you guys do, or what we all do, is when you turn closing argument on at 5:30, you expect Dr. Peabody here, you expect me here, you expect Brother Nangwe, Honorable Nangwe, Honorable Pewee here. But it takes more than that to keep this thing going.
Yeah.
The headline I just read you have been sent to us from the young folks on the ground. What's happening on the ground? We're talking about live events. We're talking about current event. These young folks go to these events and they capture the headlines and send them to us. It takes gas, it takes data, it takes everything for them to go to these places. So at least this July 26th, we want to send them something so they can, they can feed their families too. When we were young, when 26 came in, I expected, my father has it or not, I expected to wear something new. I want some new clothes. If Omen Baker comes around, we want to get Omen Baker something. I don't know where you guys are too young. You don't know what Omen Baker is. But when we were growing up, they were searching at Omen Baker, right? Mr. Nangwe, I don't know if you want to use
Absolutely, Omen Baker. And we dress out during 26 and Christmas.
That's correct. Seriously. So we want to welcome, I can see Mr. Diggs. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
Are you old enough to remember Omen Baker?
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember Omen Baker.
What about Santa Claus?
Well, I'm still doing Santa Claus right now.
Dr. Peabody, before we go to the show here, what's the difference between our Santa Claus and the Santa Claus over here? Tell me what's going on.
I think the Santa Claus, they're too rich to be Santa Claus. They got too much to be a Santa Claus. They do it for fun. But our Santa Claus do it for hustling together.
Pewee, have you ever had Santa Claus dance in your yard?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
They say, the back home, they say that money can make bigger dance, right?
Yeah.
So, that money can make bigger dance.
Yeah.
And they see money can make Santa Claus, the cherry, but the Santa Claus is I was saying that money can make bigger dance. You see?
Tomalin.
Oh, I see that. You want me bigger dance than money.
Your experience with this Santa Claus back home and the Santa Claus here, have Santa Claus ever come to your house here to dance for you to give him something?
You try, the cops will escort you. Happy 26th, Minatai. When I come in, where the woman Sonny, so he been on this so? At the warehouse.
Eh?
The guest book.
The guest book at the warehouse. Oh, the guest book? But the guest book, that one, is this one the achievement? No, I come into just sign the guest book. They probably reduce our price and say too much, man.
In all fairness, when you enter the White House, they give you a guest book, you sign it, then you go in.
But we know that the head of state is visiting the warehouse. That's something, I mean, they shouldn't be saying the woman. We know all these things that everybody that we have to visit the warehouse. We have to sign a guest book or so whatsoever. The same process at the executive mansion. So I'm here to know. I will defend the president.
Man,
I will defend.
I think it's a regular thing. The
I will defend him.
President Parker had made Liberia more popular. I'm telling you.
Oh no, but yesterday, you know, but Tomalin, get me right. Yesterday, I was one of those gay members of the mayor attacking me yesterday, even for holding and the president, right? So I believe the president did some good representation on behalf of our country, though I expected he to have other things to never. But yeah, by and large, I think that was a very great representation yesterday. And other folks are saying, I also want discussing the broad today saying that, oh, we're looking forward to today or something, but no, there was no 1 day thing. I don't think it was 2 days.
The
president leaves tonight. For Liberia.
But my question is, I saw the Senegalese, right? I think what they took advantage of the opportunity they had on the sidelines. And I was telling someone today, I said, look, I don't know because they had a week to plan. They had time to plan because when there's news break that the president was coming, he will be amongst the five heads of state to meet with the President Trump. I think we had about 10 days to prepare. I don't know whether Liberia will have a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. Because what it could have done, it would have laid all the thing down. And this opportunity that you don't get easily. And honestly, the way the Democrats and other people now attacking Trump, I think Trump will give opportunity again for that thing where they hitting Trump about how he treated our president, where he spoke to our president. So he want to avoid that one now. So that opportunity, whether it was a missed opportunity, I don't know. But I thought it would have had all these guys line up on the sidelines to hold these bilateral meetings to sign an investment agreement with one company. And now, just before I end, what I think is happening is that the other guys, the embassy have become like a ministry of information for Liberia. Apparently, the guys from HPX, they are doing their own thing with these guys. Some are writing press releases for the government and everything, but nothing substantial in our press releases that they are writing. Okay, and they all promoting their company, meaning what they after.
But Tony, the president did sign an agreement with Ivanhoe. They signed it in Liberia. So
well, it's not law yet because
it's not law.
Let's just say they have not seen it. And the president, I think they were a ministerial committee that signed it. I don't think a signature on it. So until they can get to the lawmakers before they ratify it, then they carry it to the president for his signature and into hand bills before law. But right now it's not law. So all of is just hanging.
Yeah, but Chief, be reminded when Musa. I'm sorry, Sylvester. Just give me 5 seconds. When Musa came here, you remember he talked to us about the port bill. I mean, the rescue team, they have a sweeping majority in the House and in the Senate. So, whatever the president wants, the president gets.
He gets it. Yeah,
he gets it.
Yeah. And more or less, moreover, what I was going to say is that I believe, and you're right, but what you say after they prepared the president. And it's quite unfortunate that they had about a week to prepare for this, a week or more to prepare for this. And that's why all of the ministries, agencies, and everything, they are all auxiliary to the presidency. And that's what made the president's office to be powerful. Because you have those people to help you. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will work on major, and that's why you have 9 assistant ministers in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Wow.
And each of those assistant ministers got role and basic responsibility. Now, so what I expected, because you're right, Tomalin, the fact that the president even sent a letter before to the legislature cataloging the mineral resources we have in the country to the legislature that the Chinese are investing in. He needs all of those resources. Unfortunately, the president claims one of them. He will not told President Trump we got mineral. And I agree somehow yesterday, and they were coming from, right? And he could catalog those resources to the national legislature that the Chinese are interested in this area to do some investment. Why he couldn't do the same yesterday whilst they calling for the geological survey to move him back to the country and help us try to put into place a kind of a perspective of our resources so we know how we headed. Secondly, the way we engage the Senegalese, they were more detailed. You saw the president presentation yesterday. He was more detailed, and it's part of the reason. And you saw what the president told him, President Trump. Say, "Here, there's a meeting. We have a meeting with you, right?" So because he was more detailed, and that's the kind of a thing we should do. And I want to believe his ambassador, he assessed that doing more work before he arrived. But
And I told you, your ambassador get work permit. The reason why you get work permit, you can't do nothing about it.
And again, unfortunately, we see. I mean, it's just quite unfortunate. Then you see the foreign minister here trying to show the president signing guest book. It's one of the attorneys. No, you don't do that to the country. Let's say we don't prove ourselves. And it's about time the president will appoint productive elements, people that are very productive, that will come out with outcomes that will move to benefit the angle of the country. Other than that, we're going to stay low in. There's going to be a protracted period of time we're going to spend in lingering the kind of backward kind of a way of negotiating and taking the country absolutely nowhere. It's not a good sign for us. And if we don't see nothing tangible in the next 90 days, trust me, my respect for this president and the United Party government will completely evaporate. On a serious note, if care is not taken, we need to be very frank to not just come on a showboat thing and believe that we here to just show that another Liberian leader again came to the White House. No, we're tired of that. We want to see tangible this time around. We want to see something.
Excellent. And this is what some of us that have been around.
Well, let me step in for a minute, please, Mr. Nangwe.
Go
I think
ahead.
I totally agree with you, people, but I think the handlers around the president need to focus on governing than all these PR stunts.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother.
And in our entire delegation, the most experienced person in that delegation was the finance minister. There's somebody who served 4 years as finance minister and about 5 years minister of foreign affairs. I think they could have done a whole.
Before you continue, another 2 years budget director.
That 2-year budget director and ADB. That's the most experienced on that delegation.
That's
so you want to tell me all these years? I mean, he should know how to work the rooms in Washington D.C. They should have worked with the embassy. They should have had a meeting with somebody from congressional leadership, because sometimes dealing with the White House is tough to deal with the White House directly. So you got to find somebody in the congressional leadership that has access to the White House, and that's something you should know. That's something Madam Seti did very well. Never a time she came to the States with all meeting somebody from Congress, no matter what, Republican or Democrat, because that's how you get your name and your topic talked about in the White House. So I think the whole trip was, it was a trip. That's how I call it. It was a trip. Pretty much, that was it.
I have a different interpretation of that, because the president did meet the deputy foreign secretary. That Rubio traveled, and the president did meet him. Secondly, I still feel that President Boubacar made inroad in his trip. For the fact that he was invited, the fact that he sat with the president, now with the president praising him on his English. But to see the U.S. Embassy being involved, somebody said the U.S. Embassy has become a PR for the government. That's not true. They always say this thing. They always publish information on their website. I'm a regular viewer of their website, and they will, even kids coming to the U.S. for scholarship and other things. So I don't know what we expected, because we already have a deal that the U.S. government was involved in, that Ivanhoe deal. You can't tell me that the U.S. government is not involved. It's a separate group by itself. To have the U.S. Embassy coming and publishing information on it and say that we did. So I think the president did gain something, even though we expected. They had a meeting last night in Philadelphia, the Ministry of Commerce, somewhere downtown Philadelphia. They have a trade meeting, and they met with other people. We can't say that nothing happened. There were things happening on the sideline, because the meeting that took place in Philadelphia last night, I had somebody who attended, who was at that meeting as well. So we can say that really nothing much happened. I think this one I would give it to the government of Liberia, because this is the first time I've seen, in a long time that I've seen Liberia really, stepping up, especially when it comes to meeting the United States government, thing like that. That's my view, but I think I would give a kudos to the president at this time.
Well, 1 minute, Doctor, I hate to burst your bubble, but this meeting, this particular trip, is a complete failure. And I'm gonna list some of the reasons.
That's your view. That's your view. The difference of opinion.
And I'm gonna follow it with some facts. Let me see the guy who was in the room right this year, what he says, right? About the minerals. He said when the president spoke, when he was giving his State of the Nation, State of the Union, whatever you call it in Liberia, he said, the largest of its kind in 50 years. The Chinese have identified valuable minerals such as lithium, neodymium, silver, nickel, zinc, uranium, cobalt, and he went on, diamond, gold, rubber, everything. He listed them.
Go ahead.
He did this. Yesterday was the place to actually list these and say, this is what we have, this is what we brought to the table. Instead, a survey that had been already paid for, sponsored, and we have it, that was part of our documentation, State of the Union message. Then he turns around and told the American folk that he what is a resurvey? He said the American government should come and survey to see what we have. We know what we have already. And I'm reading from right this year, reading from the President's State of the Union address.
Give me, and listen. And I agree with you yesterday. Why I'm trying now to agree with some of your point yesterday, because yesterday I vehemently disagree at the time. I didn't have the inclination that the president even informed the legislature about these things, and he cataloged them. And then now I will agree with you that it was a very poor representation why he couldn't move on to let the president of this powerful, the most powerful country on earth, to understand that, yeah, the partnership you are talking about, the partnership investment in the economic diplomacy we tried now to introduce, that's our new code of, because our own foreign policy objective is now shifting. It's shifting from what we call aid, bilateral aid, to what we call partnership development. Mr. President, by that reasoning, I've come to inform you that the people of Liberia want to extend to the American investors that we have this, we have that, we have this, we have gold, diamond, rubber, we have bauxite, we have all of these things. And we have some very good rare earth minerals. Why the president didn't catalog those yesterday? That was a missed opportunity, and I agree with you on this one, right? As we move on with, as situation unfolds, we'll get the basic informations. We're going to now come back to probably make some amendment in our statement we made yesterday. So that Peabody, I think he's correct on this one. Our leader should be, and the reason why Liberian people voted you is for you to be elect to do proper representation. And it's not about the president, it's about those that are handling the president, as my own brother Shafa was saying. He helpless. Should have done far more better job to make the president to be very proactive in terms of engagement. If you have,
but there were backdoor meetings. There were backdoor meetings. We didn't know what we're discussing in those meetings.
But it's been more than 24 hours. It's been more than 24 hours. I've not heard no press conference.
Did you read on CNN what they talk about? Liberia is one of those countries that they offer.
You're wrong, Dr. Peabody. Dr. Peabody. When the government travel and the president engages in these events, there should be a readout from his team.
Exactly.
To inform your people. There should be a readout. So we got one yesterday from the executive mansion, and we got a picture today with the president, with the deputy secretary of state. That's all. So the meeting in Philadelphia, we didn't know about that. There's not a readout from that. So you should inform the people. We can't be waiting for the people up the hill on Benson Street to tell us what's happening, or you go listen to BBC or CNN. No, I mean, inform the people. There should be a readout.
Discussion we read. There was discussion about.
Was there a joint communique? Was there a joint communique?
Well, that go to the press. The press, the president didn't even bring his own press secretary with him.
How the president don't travel with a press secretary or a press team? A president so you want to support that the president of a republic is coming with no press team? No, you have the deputy minister for public affairs here.
Yeah, Cassidy on the trip.
Cassidy is here. Cassidy is on the delegation. Yeah. He's a me man, the deputy minister for public affairs. He's on the delegation.
I'm not done 24 hours. Like you have done 24 hours.
Unfortunately, Cassidy was on the Washington show yesterday saying when the president was going to the meeting in the warehouse, they put order in OSA. Unfortunately.
Who says so?
Cassidy said that on that so-called, how do you call the show? Class Reloaded.
But why you using that for?
Because that's what happened.
Mr. Namwe want to say something.
Mr. Namwe, before you come in, let me read this to you. It says here.
Mr. Namwe, you're the progressive. You got to be valuable.
Yeah. Mr. Namwe, according to, this is what Rodney Seals wrote. He says, the president in his speech in January says, this report provides new insights into Liberia mineral resources potential and represents the most comprehensive scientific investigation conducted in over 50 years. We extend our gratitude to the People's Republic of China for funding this important project. The Ministry of Mines and Energy has already analyzed the data from this survey, and the result indicates significant shift away from our country's previous sole function focused on iron ore, diamond, and gold. We have discovered lithium, and you went all the way, named them again, and thanking the vote. So, Mr. Namwe, you've been around these things for so long. I said this a couple of weeks ago when the news broke. President Trump is like the man who operated the Shark Tank. You have 3 minutes to do your elevator pitch to sell your product. The president had all this ready. But when time came, I don't know whether it's stage fright or he was over prepared, he didn't mention any of these things.
Yeah, and yesterday I was very bullish on the president. I thought he did well. But now, today, I'm not so sure if I am on his handlers. I think his presentation, but you're right. They could have given him, he could have had little bullet notes. There's nothing wrong with that. He's a man of a certain age. He's allowed to do a lot of things that young people, they could have given him a little piece of paper, or but the report you're referring, yeah, the Chinese did that report. Uh, I think it was Chief Tomalin who posted Chairman Ben's comments in the chat room. What the president of Gabon did on the sidelines of these kind of things. Because when you're coming, you prepare. You're not just coming to meet the president. The president brings in his room. He brings people who are interested, business people. You understand me? There are a lot of people who have interest in what you have. So some of these people will not be at the table, but they will be in a general. Where you go, you greet. You mingle. The people are there. So on those kind of sidelines, that's where you begin to engage those people. Yeah. So this president, I'm not even sure if he was aware of the existence of this report. This was done in 2024.
Yeah, that
How
was
can he?
national breath.
Yeah, how can he be asking the government of the United States to come and do another survey? This is a very recent survey. That wasn't done, and this was really a missed opportunity. I agree with all of those who are saying that. I absolutely agree. This was the president's little 3 minutes or so opportunity to pitch to the entire world, not just the president of the United States. Because when the president of the United States is acting on TV, everybody's watching. Everybody's watching you. So he could be patient to the president or pitching to somebody in Kosovo. For all we know, even somebody in DR Congo. You understand? So the handlers, I think they didn't do the president. Sylvester said they had a week to prepare, but I think he's been generous. They have months to prepare. But the conference that was launched in Philadelphia, I got an invite since June 18th. And that's when I got an invite. I'm sure it was being planned way back. So they came and they went to Philadelphia. They toured the port of Philadelphia. Maybe that's what they wanted. But the port of Philadelphia, it does around, I just checked it, around $24 million per annum. Whereas the port of Jersey and New York right next door does almost $4 billion in revenue a year. So if you come to Philadelphia, could you have probably, managed to have gone to strike a relationship with the port of Jersey and New York? Because I know the president, they're trying to disintegrate the port in Liberia. They're looking for help, to help, So there are a lot of things they could have put in the package to package the president. So I think the handlers really, I agree with you guys, they didn't do a good job. The president did his best, but yes, he could have done much better, given better preparation. He could have really sold Liberia yesterday, and I agree with you all who said this was a missed opportunity. I really think it was. This was a golden opportunity for the president to really sell our country. Not not in the world of selling it out, but to promote our country. Not just to the United States, not just I think we missed that
Is that
opportunity.
Mr. Seaton?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, hopefully your background is not giving up. I'll take a bite on this, Mr. Seaton. The president of Gabon says to the president of the United States, these are all the minerals we have, and if you don't come, somebody else may come and take it. That was his. He wasn't threatening anything, but he just made it
And,
clear.
and he inked about $500 million. That one of the
Yes.
things we heard about. Not everything he did, that part of what he did.
That's
You
correct.
know.
He
Yeah.
said these are the options that you have. If you don't come, somebody else will come and take it. Your take on that particular presentation.
Well, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity, and I want to say good evening to all of the panelists here. I have a different take on the whole situation. First and foremost, I know I said this before, Liberia and the United States have a special relationship. And I do believe that prior to the president coming, there were backdoor discussions and all of the issues that the president should have laid out in front of President Trump. I think those were issues that were already that was already presented to the U.S. delegation at the back end.
Where's the readout?
Hold
You
on,
have
hold
any
on.
information on
Now,
that,
now,
Jackson?
hold on, let me
Give
finish.
us
Hold on, let me
facts.
finish.
We're not going to
Hold
be
on,
imagining things here.
hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Now, it is true that I think that I know for sure there were some discussions that was done in the back end, but in as much as it has not been made public, we will question uh, the handlers of the president. They didn't do a good job. They should have done a good presentation presented to the president for him to be able to at least, make a good pitch to President Trump. But notwithstanding, what we should be focusing on is what are the potential benefits that Liberia is going to get from at least our president meeting President Trump. That's what we should be focused on. I know, well, yeah, the Gabonese president, he made a good presentation, but notwithstanding, our people, despite the fact that our president did not make a good presentation, and despite the fact that his handlers did not do a good job, and despite the fact that since that meeting, there has not been a detailed press release cataloging everything that was done in the United States, I do believe that there were some backdoor discussions that were here, and all of these things that we are talking about were also presented at the back end. But I'm yet to see the readout, and you guys are right. A president comes to a major gathering with the most important man on the face of the planet, and we are going through this, and there is no comprehensive readout. That's a problem.
There is. And you know
That's a
what?
problem.
Let's just say they have learned a lesson. But this is the United Party team that when the president was in China, before he even got off the plane, they were reporting $3 billion sign in this oil refinery company. You understand me? If they had something, we would have heard it a long time. They got nothing. I don't believe there is. But hopefully, I agree with you. Let's hope there is.
Thank you
we'll
very
see
much.
it. But I think if they had something, we would have known about it a long time.
I agree with Nangbe. I agree with Mr. Nangbe very well because, I mean, all I've seen today, I told one minister today, I said, all I see you're doing, putting body and, Boyka and Trump picture like this, all you're doing, I mean, it doesn't, what do you mean? I said, they can put weird picture and body, they can put Ellen and Bush and everybody picture, they put up the same way. I said, like you said, Mr. Nangwe, these are guys who are known for running with information and showcasing it. But look, let me be clear for the record, because somebody told me today, so I should be clear with this. Let me say this. The way in which Baga spoke yesterday, I don't have a problem with it. Even by calling Trump sir, I don't have a problem with it. Baga spoke well. He spoke, and when Trump was even trying to mock him, whatever he was trying to do, he was calm and he responded to him. It was good. Like you said, this is the most powerful man in the world you're sitting in front of. What are your, they said the guy equals among equals, right? Yeah, but he's first among equal when it comes to presidents. So, but if Baga had acted confrontational or try to do it, people will be saying, but so why he goes out and giving the man chief? He know Trump. So I like how he was calm, Trump, and there he no harm. But what happened for Liberia is that a Google search today, Liberia is all over the. And to be frank with you, it was not a good thing for some way, but it was good for. But guess what? People know about Liberia now more than ever before because everybody trying to farm Liberia, and now you got the people watching on their source on CNN and other news network. They blasting at Trump. They having a debate on it. It was this and that. The idea, Liberia name is there. The only thing is that now, here's my point. What's in it for Liberia? Okay, what will benefit from this meeting? From what I've seen so far, the interview with Ronnie and Boga this morning, talking about deportees. And Boga said he didn't say Liberia agree. He said, well, we'll have to think about it and find out whether we would do that. So to bring people from Venezuela, from the various countries come here, put in our country, and in our prison, and our people then, we quick to do a jailbreak. They people break jail. They be all in our town and all over the place, take over our country. So Burger was very strategic when he said, we'll think about it and we'll decide whether we'll do or not. So the public coming with them was the post said, you bring the police here and put in our prison here. You all agree or not? And to be from you, he really got to think about it seriously. I mean, they give money towards it. I mean, but
I'm just stepping there for a minute now.
Let him land.
By 2028, Trump will be leaving office. But next year, hopefully, we know what happened. If the midterm election go against the Republican, Trump become lead to president. All that power Trump will just be on the ground now. So we gotta be very careful for 2025 and 26 because anything can happen. If the Republican don't win the Congress over, trust me, all I think will just be waste of time. So we want to know what happened. What's very careful on the meeting. But from what we know now, it's only about the deportees. And lastly, the American ambassador resigned. It means to say people made no mistake. I agree, but that may realize that you said funds is no more. He have no leverage in Liberia, so let me just retire after 33 years. Let me retire and go because I don't think nothing much will happen here with Liberia for my time here.
Mr. D, you want to say something real quick? Let me welcome Mr. Kehleboe Gongloe.
Kehleboe Kingston today.
Yeah, I've been blasting him. I told him I
don't think you guys was very rude because Tomalin can talk anytime, talk forever.
Oh, come on. Look, they may just come here later. You want Deeks, go ahead real quick.
Yeah, I just want to.
Always say that the rule in place, regardless of who is it.
The rule is in place. The rule is in place now. Mr. Deeks got the floor.
Okay, I just want to respond to something Tomalin said about these deportees business. Look, those people that Trump shipping to was it El Salvador or somewhere? Those people were not put through the court system.
No.
They were not put through the court system. So that's not something we should even talk about because it's not something that's going to be sustainable. Because there's no U.S. judge, whether state level or federal level, will sentence somebody to prison. Don't forget, prisoners have rights too. And they will allow you to go outside the country that you be outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. So that thing is not sustainable. So we shouldn't be even talking about it.
No, Mr. Deeks, let me correct you there. What they are doing, they are leasing the property. So it will still be within the jurisdiction of the United States, just like Guantanamo Bay or the U.S. Embassy.
No, but then you're wrong, Mr. Gilman, because the reason we opened Guantanamo Bay was to not have these people subject to U.S. court jurisdiction. That's why they were held at Guantanamo Bay. The moment you bring them on U.S. soil and you put them under arrest, you got to put them through the court process. So let's get that. Let's get that known.
The terrorists in Guantanamo Bay, they were still giving their day in court. They did do that. What I'm saying here, what they are going to be leasing is
they were never given a date in court.
They are going. Okay, I will show the research here. See how many people were tried, how many people were sentenced. But let's do this, okay? They are going to be leasing a property like they do the embassy, and that's going to belong to them, and they are going to operate it. That's how the federal prison system works. So if they are going to Liberia, they are not coming to use our prisons. They will build their own prison, from what I understand. But the main thing in that is what the Wall Street Journal reported, that the economic summit, it was a bid. That Trump, the administration, didn't actually have any interest in those things they were pushing.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a quick question. When you are convicted and sentenced, you are entitled to visitation.
Yes.
So you're gonna tell a convict that for your folks to see you, they got to pay $10,000 for a family of 5 or whatsoever. So
Well,
I mean,
No,
because
but Trevor,
no,
Trevor,
I come
people
into a
do
point.
virtual. People do
No,
virtual
I
visitation.
yeah, you
come
can
into
do
a point,
virtual
Mr.
visit.
Namwe. What I'm saying that those people that they sent to El Salvador or whatsoever they send them, they didn't put them through the court process. They were picked up and ICE, and they didn't face a judge to go through deportation. They didn't put them through the court process. That's what I'm saying. So unless we're going to say that we're going to be picking a whole bunch of people in this country and not put them through the
No,
court process
but
and send
Mr.
them.
D, let me remind you, most of these people are picked up from the border. They don't. These are people who are picked up from the border as they're coming in. That's why most of them are deportees. I don't even think they are criminals. And those are people who are caught at the border, but the countries don't want them back, and so they have to send them over there until they can process them. You know, some of them will even eventually be returned to their countries.
No, but they're not processing them because
I don't
to
think.
process them, you got to process them through the court. You're not going through the court.
Okay, guy,
Go
1
ahead.
minute.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
1
ahead.
minute.
Can I?
Hold on 1 minute. They just sent this to us here. We are informed by reliable sources that the following officials will be indicted either tomorrow or Monday: Roslyn Swakoko, Woozy, and Abdullah Kamara. Those 3 will be indicted by the Republic of Liberia for, I guess, for various reasons, but those 3 for sure. So they just sent that to us from a reliable source. So Roslyn Swakoko, and I don't know who is Woozy, Worzie.
Yeah,
If the
Samuel
guy
was
was the
Patrick Wozie.
Patrick Ozzy.
ultra piracy, yeah.
Patrick Woozy, and Abdullah Kamara. Those 3 will be indicted tomorrow or Monday. Okay, go ahead, Pewee. Then I'll go to Kehleboe.
Yeah, that's a good development. If the indictment is based on something that they did wrong,
Look at this president.
is a good development, and we hope that and that's why people shouldn't have a sugar.
Stefan, so many people will become your next, your nieces and nephews.
That he worry about, and now his sister, now his girlfriend will have baby by his scared. You want to say? Go ahead.
We hope that there will be no sugar daddy deal in terms of the justice system in the country. But yes, we were just saying something about Liberia, just from the American journalist perspective. We have close to new uplights, almost from 1,000% such from the American media that such the country Liberia. Understand from that perspective. So very great from yesterday interaction. Yeah, so everybody can want to know, and all of American idea. I'm interested to know the country of Liberia. So it's about time. If the government of Liberia is very strategic, the tourism sector put more things online. Yeah, people got to know some beautiful area in Liberia, the Blue Lake, the Matawi, and other things. Let's do some projection of what we have. Probably it will be attractive to a lot of Americans to go and visit. Right? Let's explain the narrative about the ACS, the American Colonization Society, when we think about the Emancipation Proclamation by President Abraham Lincoln. It's how all those things we need to start discussing it to see how we left from here to move to that land and form a beautiful Liberia and all those things. But what I was trying to say here is that I think yesterday we all commended the president, and then we will comment and we made some amendment in our statement that yes, though we commended him yesterday, we thought, but now we need to have more detail coming out of the Liberian government as to what really went on, because there was an America 4 African country or 5 African country of summit. We should have expected at this critical time a joint communique coming out of that function yesterday, or a detailed press conference held by the president. And it's sort of the reason again. I think today we heard he spoke exclusively with Rodney Sier. I think details from there we have to be furnished with details from that. But what I would hope to see is that the executive mansion coming on out with a very detailed statement to the Liberian people, because the taxpayer funded this trip, if you will. So we need to understand, and our president is here, we have to be informed as to what is the input of the president or the recent past meeting yesterday to have basic information on those things. It's important. Now, yesterday, quickly, the Unity Party folks were all over the place. Now, Fort George, we have photo in Baka. It doesn't make no sense. It's being stupid on their part. Now, there's no problem. They are lazy. It seems to be there's no way they have them to fight back. They're trying to find. Joe Weah was defeated. He's out of the picture now. It is Waka elected to rescue us. Up to now, you didn't even know the HPSD. You didn't tell us to hold it from third party. And up to now, you're still struggling to understand even what within this place that nothing you have to tell the Liberian people. Shame on the entire those guys, all the information minister and the rest of the folk sat down here before in the US, put more on the US, on the CDC government. Today they are in power. They are not governing the country. They're confused. They couldn't even prepare their president to do proper representation in terms of detailing what we have as resources. And they believe that everything's going to be propaganda. No, when you are governing, there's no room for propaganda. Those kind of propagandistic attitude will be removed from governance. Propaganda is a different way. If you are not governing, it's simple. If I'm not governing now, I can come and say Boaka is weak. That's big news. Because I'm not in governance. But if I'm the spokesperson of the president, or what happened yesterday to explain it, it's difficult again, man. You know it. You've been around for some time, big brother. So the reason why I'm saying this thing, the guys, they had up the problem. And they should pray God that something good come for the thing in that 90 days. Or that they are done. It's the beginning of opposition coming back to power. And sometimes we can place onto.
Thank you, Mr. Kehleboe. Before I go to you, let me play a little clip that was sent to me by my friend from the local NPR. And
I will stay up to comment on the original issues.
Yeah, 1 minute. Come on. Hold on.
I'm going to compensate you on your great English. Where did you learn to speak good English that way?
I don't hear that.
You didn't hear it? He says, Jerome gave me, I'm calling. He said, hello, sir. I am going to compensate you on your great English. Where did you learn to speak such great English that way? That's the guy from NPR. Like I said, all the memes are coming in. The jokes all over the place. And I tell you, Kehleboe sent me one from CNN. I'm getting love from the kids, all those kids that went to HBCU. They have been offended by what happened at the White House. And one of them told me, the only way that these people will stop offending and disgracing our leaders is we collectively denounce these kinds of behavior. It's racist. But like we say in Liberia, we can't cry more than to be bereaved. If everybody else is saying this is wrong and Liberians are saying it is a compliment, then it will happen to somebody else.
Look, it is not a compliment. I know Kehleboe is coming. Look, the president made news at the expense of Trump. Right now, of the 5 people who visited the White House, I don't think like anybody is talking about any other country more than they're talking about Liberia. And this is a good thing. It is a very good thing. I think Sylvester said the Google searches have gone all the way up. So, at the end of it, again, if we manage this and play well, I think we'll come up ahead.
And I said the same thing yesterday. Before Kehleboe come in, I think I said the same thing yesterday. This is an opportunity for Liberia. The fact that Liberia is now trending, almost every U.S. journalist wants to know the country Liberia.
No,
that's a good thing.
The journalists do know Liberia.
Excuse me. The fact that the country is trending, Google search, everybody wants to know the country Liberia. That's a good thing for our country. We have to be proud of that. Despite the fact that, yes, the president did not make a good presentation, according to some of you. For me, I personally believe that he did his best, given the fact that the information that was fair to him. But I think that this is an opportunity, and we need to seize this moment to make sure that whatever investment that we need in that country can go to that country. So I will stop, and then I will yield to my brother.
Your take,
I will yield to my classmate.
Listen, gentlemen,
Kehleboe Gongloe.
We have to be straight out here. Liberia does not need investment. What we need in Liberia is innovation. Liberia has money. We need to innovate to recreate our resources, to be able to put food on the table of our people. We don't need foreigners to bring money. In most instances, foreigners are not even bringing money. They are just going maybe on Wall Street and taking loan and coming and making millions and millions of dollar profits. What we need, what's wrong with government investing, owning, as whatever they need to do. They can take money from the central bank, they can borrow money from the central bank and even invest into small and medium small business scheme. They can do that. Other governments have done that. China, in fact, is a model. China today own most of the company, the big companies in China. They are owned by the Chinese government. They are competing among themselves around the world. But that's not even what I want to debate, because this is not an economic
That
debate.
communism there, man. You know that.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
communism. No,
That's socialism. That's socialism.
That's
Okay, guys, give the man a chance. Go ahead.
No, but we
My
want to
man,
correct him on that. The
please
reason why
let my friend speak.
Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
the reason why I'm not going to debate this issue is you can go into the why is which country America is most afraid of today? It's China. Why?
Because of the
China
population of China.
No, man, come
No,
on,
no,
not
no,
population,
China
man.
is positioned to take over America in the next 30 years.
Because of the population.
Economy in the world. This is why the fight is between the United
Go ahead,
States.
go ahead, people. Go
So
ahead.
I'm not. But this is not an economic forum, so we're not going to debate this.
Yeah, we're not going to debate that. Go
Let
ahead.
me go
Go
back
ahead.
to this issue. I disagree with the people who want to page this debate, this discussion in other form. President Bouaka is president for all of us. What happened at the White House yesterday, I look at it in two ways. Firstly, Donald Trump's behavior was unacceptable to treat our country in the way he did. Just as we should be prepared when we're meeting the president of another nation, we should learn something about that president and something about our nation. Trump did not even have regard for Liberia to learn even just a basic information about Liberia, to know that Liberia is a country that was settled by free slaves from the United States. That he scammed people who don't let black people like him send them to Liberia. If you could have just Googled that, and Trump could have even come there to show that respect and say, yeah, the group, the mega group that I belong to, I don't let people who don't look like me. We made sure those people went to that country. You could have just learned even our basic information about Liberia, but he failed to do it. So we should condemn Trump for his behavior, but also we should condemn President Bouaka handlers, the guys who travel with him. They came for Padan, they didn't work. Because most of them come from the US, they are here talking to their family and children. They didn't work. Why would the president, knowing the fact that you guys have presented in 2024, China did a mineral map. In 1974, the United States Geological Service did a geophysical survey of Liberia. It's online. I'm even looking at it here. And now I'm not looking at it today, but I've been aware of this for more than 10 years. When I was a student, I've been aware of this. So why would our president not even be aware of that? It's because the people who work with him fail to do the basic research and prepare him.
So you tell that crew man, you tell that crew man to mute himself.
Mr. Sito, you either Sito or Yimpan, but I will take Sito or Yimpan. So go ahead. Put your phone on mute while you typing.
So here is the issue. What is missing even in the mineral sector, because geophysical survey basically just gave some general information about rock formation and what mineral is not rock and what of it. We need geochemical survey that will give you the economic quantity in those rocks. That is what, maybe that's the request the president meant to give, but the United States government, according to my information that I've gathered, they stopped doing that for countries. The U.S. Geological Service, the last country they did for was Afghanistan. Since then, they decided not to do it for other reasons. Maybe because of conflict of interest. American companies may be competing in our country with other companies, and they may have advantage over those companies from different countries. So they don't do that anymore. There was no need for the president. The most defining issue in Liberia today, from Ellen Johnson said, which is a post-war issue, youth unemployment is one issue. The president needed to speak to that. The proliferation of different kinds of drugs, which even it has national security implication for the U.S. Those are the two issues the president needed to put on the table: youth unemployment and the issue of how we deal with the drugs issue. Liberia got no government manage rehab center, or mental health facility. Liberia nothing like that. Maybe those are things the president need to talk about. And the president could have talked about that if his handlers knew what to say. But they didn't put that to the president's desk. So I don't blame President Bouaga for not talking about those issues. If I'm advising President Bouaga today, the group that travel with him, I will make some changes in that position, because they did not help him to sell the country. They brought disgrace to the country, and that's a fact, and we should talk
My
it.
man, our LPP brother Kofi was in that group. So what you say about that?
I don't care. I'm not. You see, I'm not. Kofi is not a member of LPP anymore. I hope you know that. He
I didn't know that.
No, he formerly left LPP in 2023. So let me say this to you. The UP people may be running with issue, and this is a nonsense and the stupidity about sedition and UPs. They think that this country belongs to them. What we're going through today, we're going through because of CDC and Unity Party.
Find the third lane.
Unity Party and CDC have mismanaged the goodwill of the Liberian voters for over 20 years. So we have a nagging issue of youth unemployment, or poor economic performance because of the two parties. And every time we get on social media, Unity Party or CDC, I hate hearing that. It's because that type of stupid pitching against each other does not help the country, because they are not addressing the real issue. The real issue is everything CDC and Unity Party have touched have declined. The economy has declined, the health has declined, everything has declined. The data is there. We can't debate it. Okay? So, and we should talk about that openly, as opposed to maybe some of the debate. We don't have to follow the page. When they give a bit and say, let's discuss this, let us not follow it. They can say, why on Clash, on Catch Reloaded. I don't listen to Catch Reloaded because it doesn't make sense where I'm minister of information. I'm going to be sitting down and saying how good I'm doing instead of a third party telling me how good I'm doing. I mean, each of them should just run a podcast in their offices. They don't need to go anywhere.
Thank you.
So that's how much I will say on this. But I think the blame is not on President Bouaga. It is on his in-laws and Donald Trump, either just who he is, a racist. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Siliki, welcome, young man.
Thank you, Mr. Gaiman.
Okay, man, after winning the elections, did he change the microphone?
I think the microphone got bigger. I told you it got bigger.
You see what power can do?
Listen, Barack Obama said if you want to know the character of a man, Barack Obama said if you want to know the character of a man, give him power.
Siliki, you see, you can be putting him on government post. You see, not cheap for you.
Yeah, that's right. Siliki,
The microphone is bigger than Anthony
Game. And office space, you projecting yourself on this. See, so
presidential.
Okay, Obama won
Mr. Siliki.
No, Siliki didn't buy it. He won an election. Go and win an election. They can have a bigger microphone.
Mr. Siliki, you can comment on what we have commented, but I want you to take the lead on this when you come back. Liberia has $17.8 million budget shortfall in the first quarter. You go out, talk about the United States thing, then let's lead on that one.
Yeah, again, good morning from my end. It's after 12 here. But I just, again, Mr. Sylvester, the last time I came on, you was not on the show, and I appreciate everybody. You're one of the person who contributed to our effort, during our electoral process. So I just want to take this time to say thank you for your support and encouragement. Very, really appreciate it. But disclaimer.
No problem, brother. You always welcome. Yeah. The next presidency, I think, we want you who has the president proper.
Yeah, but for the record, this microphone got nothing to do with the election.
Okay. No, just kidding.
It got nothing to do with the election.
But in other words, just to tell you,
people
you see today in power, right?
Yeah.
It was that you understand sometimes you see Siddiqui being in the country, right? See
Yeah,
some
yeah.
men that they appointed before in power, they were very hungry. After 5, 6, 7, 8
I
years,
agree.
see the
Yeah,
kind of see the home they have.
yeah,
See some of them own millions of dollars today. And that's why in the country, we're just thinking to laugh just now, right? That's why people
yeah,
need to do something to account. And the country they're exposed. And the guy
yeah.
don't know how
You're
to
right.
eat money, they will eat money, they just won't drag and make other people to suffer. I mean, see
Yeah,
the life some people, I don't know what's her name yet, but some men you know that been in our house. 10 years before they got there, I mean, few years before they got there, they were poor. They were just sleeping in one bedroom. Today, they
absolutely.
own
I
multiple
agree.
of mansions, some
I
of them
agree.
own universities around.
I
Huh?
agree. I agree with you.
Liberia is the only country in the sub-region where you get rich by working for government.
Of
No,
course.
So you can
no, is it
reach.
like, bro? Wait, no, almost
All
90% of
government.
African countries.
Oh yes,
Yeah, can
I
I?
mean
Liberia is just worse.
it is bad. It is bad for our people.
Okay,
How?
sir.
What is public
Nigeria,
service?
Sierra
Public
Leone,
service
Ghana,
is to serve your people, not to
almost all
enrich
the countries.
yourself. But
It's not
most of
true. Talk about
Liberia,
Nigeria is
and
bad.
it's sad. All of the people that got money in Liberia today, they get their money from working for government,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
at the expense
But,
of
yeah, but Mr.
the
Singer,
masses. That's
you,
not fair.
you,
Go ahead, Sidiki.
you
Well, I
take it
mean,
to the Go ahead, Siliki. I mean,
okay, so here is the thing, though. I followed the internet since yesterday. And for me, this is my position. The two sides, the both supporters of the presidents and oppositions who are disappointed because of the way President Trump applaud President Parker. Everybody get a right to the different opinions and views that have been circulating the internet. But personally, for me, I believe that it's good that the president of our country can be applauded in an international meeting, abroad is a good thing. But what I'm more concerned about, I would like to know what is President Parker bringing home to the Liberian people. What are some of the plans that they agreed to in that meeting that that is actually going to improve Liberia? What are some of the agreements that they signed yesterday that can bring some opportunities in terms of creating jobs for the hundreds and thousands of Liberians that are graduating from universities in different countries and even in Liberia? For me, this is what I'm concerned about, but not how well President Parker spoke and the kind of comment President Trump gave to President Parker, taking that to be somehow condescending and all of that. For me, I don't think. Yes, other people get it right to think like that. For me, I don't think that's the point here. First of all, Eric Costa said Joseph Parker is a darling boy for America, simply because Trump said you spoke well. Or darling ball for America will be going back home in a few days. What is he taking back to his people? I would like to know that.
When Costa said that today?
Yeah, he said that. He said that on his Facebook page. He came on live yesterday at 3 p.m. Liberian time.
Maybe he already
He
happy.
said JNB is the darling ball for America.
He already happy.
listen,
And all of that.
Siliki, if somebody gonna call your president darling boy, you know what boy is in this country?
Yeah.
That word boy.
Costa
That
happy.
word,
Costa already happy.
if somebody ever call you a boy in this country, it has a demeaning, just like what someone says. It's an insult. People don't understand this. I mean,
Let me tell you the phone.
No, but I come in and
Sidiki, give me 2 seconds. Let me tell you the phone.
Go ahead,
When I started teaching, when I left university, I started teaching in middle school here. I thought it was a compliment. I told one of the boys, I said, "Oh, this is a good boy." And it's like the whole class went, "Wow, oh, Mr. G said he's a good boy," And I was just shocked. All of the kids were laughing at me. So during lunch, and I called 2 of the kids. I said, "Why were they laughing?" I just said, "They said, a good boy." That's how we call our pets. I mean, if you're walking your dog, your pet dog, and they behave, they follow instruction, you call them good boy. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that." In my country, when you say a good boy, a person who is well behaved.
Yeah,
But
it's my buddy.
Yeah, but in Costa presentation, Costa was on live on his Facebook page, and most of the people following him, they were majority of them are Liberians. So in that context, it's more like applauding President Parker. And that's the narrative that don't forget. For us, we will say that and say it's an insult. But the common man in Liberia thinks that, oh, Joseph Boakai now he's very close to President
You
Chong.
know, bring President home.
So, yeah, that's the narrative they try to say.
Yeah, I agree with I'm looking at from also.
Let's not forget about that.
Siliki,
But
that's
yeah,
why we are here to educate and inform.
which is
Because
good. Yeah, which is
listen,
good.
one of the,
But I mean,
before you go on, there were one thing in one of our public policy classes, Michael Dukakis did a particular clip. He said before you give a policy speech, not only do you know your audience, right?
yeah.
But you also have to know the culture and their norms. And he gave an example, and a current picture of Richard Nixon visiting South America. And they had a very great event. When he was leaving, he got onto Air Force One, and he turned to the crowd and gave them a double thumbs up. Right? In America here, that's great. We had a great time. In their culture, a finger is basically shoving it up your rear end. And if you do it twice, that's even worse. Why was that important is a diplomatic success story like Richard Nixon did in South to leave at the 24th hour, the last day, to damage, to insult the folks. This is what we are talking about. So when you are in a culture like this, where slavery, and in a place where they call the White House, it should dawn upon you that you are in a peculiar position. The culture, the norms. So if you live in the United States and you gone to school, you are working, you will have faced this question: where did you learn English? And the next thing that follow is, do you sleep in homes or you sleep in trees? And I mean, those are the kind of things they do. They say everyone of here experiences it to some degree. So when you hear that say to your president, like the lady was saying on CNN, it is an insult to the Black Congressional Caucus that a Black president is going to come here and you say that to a president. I mean, but if they take it as a compliment, who are we to say, you know?
Yeah, for them.
Yeah,
for them,
but quickly, if they take that from Sidiki's point, they agree that the dining board should be someone in the good grades of the president, right? Or graces of the president. Yeah. Meaning, what Sidiki is trying to portray, what Costa is sounding at me.
Sure.
He should be going back home tonight on that
with everything. With basket on his hair.
Bundles. Sidiki, go ahead.
Exactly. That's the point. You know, JMB should be going back home over big news, you know, that Liberians can benefit from. You know, but I wish, because I don't want to conclude that he's not taking anything home, I wish they can take something home that will benefit Liberians that are celebrating this. And I hear a lot of people saying, oh, the country name is out there, and a lot of people are going out to search for Liberia. So what? So what? People go and search for Liberia and say, oh, Liberia is a country in West Africa. And so what's next? What is going to happen? You know, and for me, I really want to see something happening, you know, coming out of this meeting, you know, and this will be good for the country. But on the other case, Mr. Gamer, you spoke about a report that the LACC or the government of Liberia might likely indict.
We have not come to that. I want you to comment on the $17.8 million.
You can't be in this game as long as I've been and not be optimistic. And I'm a glass half full kind of person. I believe in Liberia. I wouldn't have come back here at all if I hadn't believed in Liberia. You know, the reasons I'm leaving here are purely personal. Have to do with my own personal choices to be back with my family who have not been able to join me here. But I'm a strong believer in Liberia, in the people, in the culture, in the country itself. I think, you know, I think Liberia can succeed, and I always believe in that. And I think, you know, I'll leave it with this. As one door closes, another door opens. What do I mean by that? As one door closes with the end of assistance, another door opens in aid and investment. I have long held that the only way Liberia was never going to get to where it needs to go through assistance alone. It's helpful, but it's a Band-Aid. And I'm not trying to undermine or speak ill of USAIDs, far from it. They've done tremendous work here. But the only way you're really going to grow this place, get it to where it needs to be, is by growing the economy. The only way you're going to do that is with investment. So that's where I'm at. But when I'm tired after an interview, you've done a good job.
Well, we've been saying this forever and ever. Aid is a welfare system. It doesn't carry you anywhere. You have to create jobs. You have to build a middle class. Welcome, Mr. Bieda. How you doing there, sir? Is that Mr. Alexander Toga Bieda? Okay, he's not paying attention. Yeah, go ahead, land so I can move on to Mr. Deeks.
Yes, to conclude from my end, I think we spoke the
Are
last
you
time
getting
about
me?
this one point. Yeah, I think we're getting you loud and clear. So just to conclude, we spoke the last time about this 1.8 I don't know million deal. The U.S. government is trying to sign with the Liberian government, and I heard that the president already signed a deal. So you just have to go to the legislature to to pass. But I don't know much about it. I wish I could know what is into this deal for Liberia. But bit of it was discussed on Constat, platform yesterday, where you spoke about, it's just the wrong way. I don't know, HPX is going to be using to take iron ore from a village in Guinea to pass it through to Liberia, and they're not going to be taking any resources from Liberia. Costa spoke about that yesterday. Just the wrong way they are going to sign this agreement. And yeah, again, the Liberian people voted for lawmakers. I wish and pray that they can look at it and see if it's good for Liberia. They can pass it. That's okay. But for me, at the end of the day, we are watching, and the news coming from the LAC is a good news. But as you said, we're not getting there. Let's see what happens next. But for me, I really wish something good can come out of this deal. If it's good for Liberia, that's good. Yeah. Thank you.
Jerome, just 5 seconds. Let me push back quickly on my younger brother's comment about Liberia training. So what? I think it really means a lot. I'm sorry if you didn't see it that way. There's a reason why people advertise, right? And coming from you, I'm a little bit shocked. As a politician, an activist. For Liberia trending, even if one person, because of this reason, is attracted to Liberia, that is reason enough. But you sounded a little bit like one of the president's kitchen cabinet members who say he didn't care whether investors left Liberia or not. So I hope you didn't mean that. It means is a really big deal that Liberia is in the news, and luckily for us, it's not on account of something stupid we did. We're in the news at the expense of the U.S. brother. Yeah, some of our brethren on the continent, they think we sold out or whatever it is. But obviously, there are other people who are wishing they were in our position today. So I get that too. I just wanted to make that comment. Us trending and being in the news, I think is a good thing.
Thanks. Provided, Mr. Nangbe, provided if we take advantage of that.
I agree with you on that too.
But if we are just in the news and we are doing nothing, even the people in Liberia, the government officials, they just on Facebook proving point that Joseph Barker was a plot, by the U.S. president, other than George Weah. That's a narrative they're selling in Liberia. They're not taking advantage. Like somebody said, try to post some stuff on the internet and invest some resources into it, to show some tourism era that can attract people to come to Liberia and all of that. They're not thinking about doing that. But all they're trying to do, comparing CDC, George Weah can spill their bills, and all of that, all of them are passing around, So that's what I say. So what?
And this is the disingenuous part of our, politicians, government officials in Liberia. And as you are already saying, Siliki, this is not the time to compare Joshua and Joseph Walker. Joshua was former president. He had his time. He had a moment. This is President Walker's time. This is a moment. Seize this moment and make sure that Liberia benefit from it, rather than comparing a previous administration and this administration. That is the reason why the country is going in a circle between the Unity Party and the CDC. And I'm sorry to say this. These people do not mean well for Liberia. Because if they meant well for Liberia, we won't have a vast number of our people unemployed. But now, since Joseph Walker came to power, and it started from the CDC, how many private sector investment went to Liberia? None. No. Only the CDC and on George Weah. On Joseph Walker. So for them to be comparing the two things, the two administration, it's just BS. I think they need to harness this situation and see how best they can attract more foreign investors into the country so that they can provide employment for our people. Our people don't need handout. Our people need employment. Our people need to improve their economic conditions. And now you see, for example, Scan is rallying the whole country around saying they are demonstrating. You think all of the boys that are running their mobile model, if they were employed, you think they were joining the street?
No.
They're not going to go in the street. But because there's no employment. So there's nothing to do. They are idle. So there's nothing to do. So anybody comes to them and gives them little crumbs, they will follow that person. And that person is doing it for their own self-glorification as mobile money is doing. So
All right.
this comparing two individuals, it's just a BS. It does not help the country.
Thank you,
We
Mr.
have most
Sidon.
countries.
Mr. Gilman has a little emergency, so I'll be holding off before he comes in. So let's give the floor to Mr. Bieda, who just came in. He hasn't had a chance to. Mr. Toga Bieda, welcome. If you want to make a comment, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Mr.
And
Nangwe, I
as
think, please excuse 1 minute, please. I think Anthony's in the back. Can you please bring it on?
Yeah, thank you. That is done from then Monrovia, or if Chief Tomalin is here. I don't have the
yes,
the rights to do that.
so
They'll bring you on. Thank you, though. Go ahead, brother.
yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for keeping up the momentum on the show. I'm glad to be here. We got 6 days to go for the enough is enough with the people protesting Monrovia. We've been very overwhelmed with it. We've been engaging various radio stations and so forth. I wanted to first of all thank Chairman Mobile Malu and the team on the ground in Monrovia for a tremendous job that they continue to do. Today was a massive show again in Monrovia, where the CDC Youth Wing in their hundreds paraded the streets of Monrovia after their endorsement of the protest. This way, more groups and so forth to also endorse the protest. We'd like to also thank the student group at the University of Liberia, PROSA, that have also endorsed the protest. We also like to thank our motorbike riders, the people from District Number 4, the people from District Number 14 in Monserrado, our people from West Point, Newtown, and Claratown, our people from across the country who are mobilizing in their thousands to be at the July 17 protest. This is going to be a new day for the country. Let me tell you, in most developed places in the world,
Are you in
people
Liberia already?
protest. It is not. No, I'm not in Liberia at the moment. I'm here. I'm coordinating
Because your glasses,
media,
your glasses
propaganda,
telling
and
me that
press
you're ready
for
for
the
the protest.
international press.
Go ahead, brother. Go
So
ahead. Go
I am
ahead. Go ahead.
coordinating. I'm coordinating the international aspect, media propaganda wise of the protest, and we've been very, very much tied up with all of these and ensuring that our people in the diaspora and other places can support this endeavor. And we're very happy with the momentum on the ground, the way it's building, the way people are supporting. And just as I was saying, people in the most developed people gave them handouts. It is not because they sit in an impoverished state or whatever. People are concerned about growing issues, about the economy, about growth, about development. All right. You have a country where the price of gasoline has gone up by $4.18. This is interesting. And the LPRC goes on air and says to the public that the reason the price of petroleum has gone up in the country is because of a 12-day war that took place in the Middle East. This is unacceptable, completely unacceptable, because right by us in Nigeria, the price of gasoline is completely low. It's around $2. They have the Dangote refinery. So I keep wondering why we keep misleading the people. Why don't we tell the people the truth? How you sit right in your same West Africa basin and you have petrol being sold for 2 point something dollars per gallon, and you say you are buying from the Middle East because of a 12 days war, you come back and tell the public that's why you've carried gasoline price up. Our people need to be truthful to these people. The other day, there was a woman on the security front. Since I'm just coming on the show, I know you discussed it some times ago, but the security situation of the country is very fragile. You had a lady who came from Canada, went to the country, and went to her house in Marshall, was gang raped, was murdered in cold blood. Okay, these things are terrible. I heard people talk about how, you know, uh, President Bwaka's in Liberia
Mr. Bearded,
because, of
if you can hear me, if you can make some adjustment, you're lagging.
Donald Trump's
You're lagging. If
statement.
you can hear me,
Just Donald
if you're
Trump's
able
statement.
if you're
My
able to
internet,
make
right?
some adjust, yeah, if you can make some
My internet,
adjustments,
right? My internet.
yeah, you're
My
lagging.
internet.
Yeah.
Yes, initially it told me to go to Chrome. I went back to Chrome to start from Chrome. I don't know. Maybe I need
Maybe you might want to go
some
out and come back again.
but
Try that.
Are you getting me? I don't know what's happening to this internet.
No, go and come back in. Go out
Are
and
you
come
hearing
back
me?
again.
Okay, let me do that. I'll get right back to you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. I don't want to leave that topic while he's coming back. Let's talk a little bit more about the upcoming protest. I mean, yesterday we did talk about it quite a bit because Councillor Gongloe had taken a position. I think there's another group that Jerome read that also took a position not to support the protest. I am so struggling, and I hope you'll come back soon. I want someone to in a minute or two, just tell me exactly what is the expectation. What is it? What would be considered a win for this protest? After the protest, what is it that we hope to see that they will, attain and will consider it a win? What are they looking for? Because I think it's not enough, to just put people out in the streets, and occupy the streets and show strength and all of that. Has anyone been able to figure out exactly what it is that this protest seeks to attain? Any of you guys?
Sefa, you want to go? What the protest seek to attain?
Yeah.
I think basically what I'm observing from distance, and I thought Bieda would have been the best person to explain to us in detail. What I stated yesterday, I do support the protest, but the way folks started engaging the whole thing, I thought if care is not taken, it wouldn't be a kind of a massive success. What I thought they intend to achieve is that we want to send a signal to the government that you are not governing the way the people expectations, what people expected. You are not doing that in accordance with their expectations, if you will. So there's a signal to send to the government that you are not on course. So this is a message going to the government that you have to change course as to how the governance process is unfolding in the country. So that is the intent of what I believe they try to achieve. This is not, I don't want to believe or harbor that this, and that's what the approach is from the beginning. It was a little bit not in terms of, because there was this calculation here. There were other folks, for instance, one of the organizers was talking about regime change, or Bwaka stepped down and they sort of changed it about calling the attention about the rule of law thing. So we have to understand first and foremost is the intent of this protest. And for me, if the intent of the protest is to call government attention, and I hope that's the intent of it, and I do support it because the Constitution of our country provides that we can assemble to petition about government where we will express our grievances on issues we believe that are not going rightly. And Article 1 of our Constitution is emphatic. It says emphatically that power is inherent in the people, and it is their foundation of their issue that constituted the government. So the government should be obliged to to move whenever the people is trying to push them to do so. So that is the major thing. So I think this organizing these protests for the attention of the government to be drawn to area that they believe the government is insensitive and the government is not competently handling things as expected by the Liberian people when they voted the Black administration.
Thank you very much, Sylvester. While we're at it, I don't know if you guys can see my phone because Mr. Joma Jala here, he wants to know how much gasoline is in my state. So the average here in New Jersey is about $2.93, Mr. Jala. So you can go and compare that to your $4 and change in Liberia. But I Sylvester, I agree with you. I think from the get go, it's been unclear to most of us. If it is to call on the government to let them know that they're going in the wrong direction and they need to change course, I agree. But like you just rightly said, other reasons that have been stated, Molly himself is on record for calling for a regime change. So that's why. But apparently, Toga may not be able to come back. I'm not sure. So Jerome, he sent me there are a couple more topics. So he wanted us to talk about the GSE report. I am sure we've all seen a report of the Minister of Agriculture. I think an agriculture and cooperative development bank loan or funded agriculture program at the ministry apparently was audited recently, and over $5 million this project is worth 500 million. $5 million, 5.2, almost $5.3 million. And I was reading the comment on myself. I didn't finish reading the whole thing, but it looks like there were lots of irregularities that was found. I think they audited 114 entities, farms, and out of those, they couldn't locate 81 of those farms. And besides not being able to locate some of these farms, it looks like there were also irregularities in the pricing. The ministry tended to be paying, in one instance, from what the ministry, reported to have paid compared to the auditor's actual price, there was $126,000 difference. So, what do you guys make of this? Minister Nuta, Dr. Nuta, he is, my UPB brother, but actually, he's one of those people, I think, who many people really felt, was one of the shining bright, one of the bright spots in this government. I don't know, Siddiqui, have you read this report? Do you have any comments? And then I'll come to Sylvester. I think Sefa was on the phone, so I'll let him be the last on this.
Which report is that, Mr.
Okay, there's a GSE report. You may have not read it. There's a GSE report Ministry of Agriculture, a agriculture and cooperative development funded project for farming, small scale farmers.
So is that different from the I don't know the European Union fundings they give to small farmers to be able to empower? I don't know the European.
I don't know if it's the European Union, but it looks like it came through Agriculture and Cooperative Development Bank.
Yeah, because I heard a story a few months ago that there were money given
African Cooperative and Development Bank. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there were money given to farmers to to improve, and then some lawmakers apply for that. It was more like a grant. Even Amara Kone applied for it, Besunga Finde, and even Mangio and the rest of the other people. But I don't know if that's the same. Each but quite frankly, I've not seen it.
Teramaku also.
Okay, Teramaku as well. Yeah. So
okay. Since you haven't seen it,
different one. Or this one is a different one.
You will come after Mr. Dix come on, Mr. Gongloe will come on. So, Mr. Pewee, Sylvester, have you seen that other report? Do you have any comment on that? I think it's in the front page Africa also.
And which other report?
There is an African Development Bank funded program to the Ministry of Agriculture for small farmers. Small scale farming. It's
a World Bank.
No, it's not a World Bank.
It's not a World Bank. Yeah, it's not a World Bank. This is different. I must say I never heard of it until I saw this report.
It's the African Development Bank. It's an ADB program.
Yeah.
Is it a program that some government officials and past official got?
No, this
loan?
the one was for small farmers.
It's small farmers. But
Even
what
that one too as well. That one too was
Okay,
for
but
small
okay.
farmers
What I
as
know
well.
of is
Yeah.
the one that was sponsored by the World Bank, and that was for not small farmer, was for people that got large farm, mechanized industrial farm, and I know American did get some support from that. Based on that, I think they did get some support from that. That is from the World Bank. That was sponsored by the World Bank. But for this, I'm just hearing about this. It's from the African Development Bank. So
Yeah.
I haven't really got just
This is really different, and I know Mr. Deeks will come in, but I was shocked. Look, some of the things they're reporting, Sylvester, some of the instances, $700,000, no appropriate accounting, no voucher, no authorization, and so
they just
cannot
give money or no voucher system.
they just put the money out. But Mr. Deeks, please go ahead if you know anything about this.
Well, I mean, I read a story. Was it early this morning or late last night? But I mean, these kind of things will always happen for a fact that not only this government, the previous governments have not been intentional in revitalizing the agricultural sector, because you can avoid these things when you have agricultural cooperative. Because when you read a story, they say they gave the money to a lead farmer to
Yes.
distribute to the smaller farmer.
To the
You know what I
smaller
mean?
farmers,
Yes. So I mean, how can you track? I mean, how can you track that? So until we can go back to the days of having these cooperative, the money will come, and these things will always happen, and there will be no result. I'll stop there.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gongloe. Are you familiar with this report? Have you read it?
I'm a victim of this report. I am a victim.
Why are you a victim?
Why are you a victim?
Guys, I can show you.
Because you know too much math.
I'm one
You
of
know
the-
too much math. That's why they didn't give it
I'm
to
one,
you.
no, I'm one of the big farmers in Liberia. Okay, as we speak.
What
I
is
think you
definition
guys
of
have
big farmer? What is definition of big farmer? To have a few pigs, and that's the definition.
Well, what is few? What is your definition of few?
That's what I'm asking you, Chief.
Oh no, but you questioning my information.
No, but
so you
tell
should,
the difference between small farm and big farm. Why make a farmer big and why make a farmer small?
You have around maybe you have around 100 pigs and all
on any given day, Pewee, I have more than 200 pigs on my farm on any given day.
Okay,
That's a big farm. That's a big farm.
But I just started duckling. I just started dog farming, and trust me, in 1 year time, my goal is not to have less than 500 dogs on my farm.
And I want to think that I'll be going
So I just started
to
bringing
get
my
to because I love eating dogs. So
I will tell you that much.
But I thought you should
This-
qualify
this-
for some of the money.
No, because I did apply. In fact, in preparation for this application.
The minute they don't let people that straightforward.
Oh, like,
Sorry,
But I mean, why you didn't advertise on TCA to pay some money? I saw your advertisement. Why you didn't advertise on the platform?
I will advertise here free because I don't get paid for sitting here though. I will advertise here free. No, I just asked Lofa Julius. He's working on my 1.5 million.
But congratulations, though. I mean,
Once he
that's
finishes
a
it,
noble undertaking. Congratulations.
Spoon has agreed to do it for me free. Closing Agnew will do it free, and I will not pay money. If Spoon that can go and can do it free, then I hear you do it free.
Okay,
So
I
I'll
don't know
do
about
it.
that, but go ahead, Chief.
Okay, so the way the project was working was that you apply. When they look at your profile and your new business, they say you don't have the capacity, right? The first time I applied, I had about 80 pigs on my farm. They said, "Oh, you don't have much. You don't have the capacity. This that." So you got to form an association. So my son went and organized an association. We brought in basically family members and community dwellers who formed an association. Then they gave us some piglets, a little bit of feeding and what have you. So what we did was those piglets, they're all members of the association who got the idea of the association is that each person will have their own pig pen. So they gave you a pair, you go and raise it. So what we did was those who didn't have pig pen, once they supplied them, Then we who have pig pen, we have to purchase from them because they were part of the association. So we did that, and they gave us a little bit of fee because we go to to buy uh, our pig feed on down Freeport. Very expensive. They go to Bombing Hill to Mano to buy canoe cake, the waste from the plant. So we're doing that. That was the first phase. When we did it, when it came back a year later to do assessment, my pig population has passed 160. So wow, but you guys are the best farmer in Magibi. Or in fact, they had a monitoring team. On that monitoring team, they under this project, the group that actually does the evaluation is Deloitte too. They're based in Accra, Ghana. Their representative was on that team. They came to my pig farm. Oh, we are in
Clever,
Magibi. And they said
give me
for
a second,
Magibi,
guys. Let's mute,
we're the
please.
only authentic pig farmer.
There's a lot of interruption. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Gonglo.
And they said we're the only authentic pig farmer in Magibi. When they came to do the assessment, monitoring the evaluation, when the monitoring team on the team, they wrote in a report that Kolake Farm was the only authentic pig farmer in Magibi. So right there they say apply for the second phase where you can get even $200,000 or $300,000 grant. So it's okay, but it's something. It's a margin grant. So if you apply for 100,000, then you must it's on the ratio of 40-60. So
So
we should do.
is this the AFV funded program or is it the one
Yeah.
Sylvester?
We
Okay.
should give 40%, then the grant will be 60%. And the 40% does not have to be cash. It could be our land, the house, the investment we have made. It can be our contribution. Then the 60% will come. So I hire a Sarah Luna, who is a very good business plan writer. I pay him $300. He wrote a business plan for me. Very good one. We even took it to the World Bank office, and the guy looked. I said, "We never seen we bank library. This guy business plan is good." So we submitted because part of our thing was to produce animal feed. Because my target was that look, on any given day, I should have not less than 2,000 pigs on my farm. I should go into processing, where I just kill, slaughter, put in a supermarket, label it like a farm, and people come and buy instead of having the imported one. So that's my major goal, to be able to be a competitor on those who import the frozen meat. So I took my son John Jala Gonglo, who did agriculture in LU, I sent him to University of Ibadan to study animal pig feed production. I spent more than $2,000. I sent him there just in preparation for this grant, so we will be ready when the guys come. My son, when he studied, he came. We need to buy hammer mill and all that stuff. I bought 2 machines from China that can chop grass, for the pig and what have you. So we started racing. By the time
So
we
that was a
did,
quick certificate program or
yeah.
what?
It was a 2 weeks
Okay.
training program.
That's
When he
pretty
came
cool.
by, we started working. He came by with knowledge, and we want to build our small mini factory, everything. When the grand, when Deloitte and 2 representatives came from Ghana, when he came, he visited us. He said, "Wow, listen, in the project proposal, we didn't even have pig pen to expand our pig pen or upgrade it. We didn't even have it. When you inspect it, he said, look, by then we have 210 pigs. He said, look, I went all around Magibi, all around Bonkante. You guys are the real pig farmer in the country. I see your establishment. So what you do, are $50,000 component. To this proposal, tell the guy to add $50,000 so we can upgrade our pig pen. So we added it. So our application went now to 250,000. We're waiting for that. We never got it. We went through these are stages. So you first do the upfitting, the submit, then the review, they get back to you, then they And the business plan, why evaluation team come from Ghana, look at it, okay, the evaluation came and elevator and say, if I increase your application. The last stage, the so-called last stage, they call them, I don't know, investor, whatever. They say they're private people. You go to agriculture ministry, myself flew from the United States. I went to Liberia just for that because I needed this grant to expand. I went to the project office. I sat down and I know some of the boys there. I don't want to call their name. You know, in fact, one of them is Deputy Minister of Commerce and Yeke. You know, I sat with them. I explained to them. They said yes. The guys they'll call you. I never got a call. In fact, I started when you want to say, oh yeah, I just put with them, they'll call you tomorrow, Yoko. Cannot see them, they can interview on the phone. What kind of application that the people can come to your farm? They interview on the phone, you can't see them face to face, but they tell you, okay, we have evaluation application, you apply for 200, so this is what you get. And this is what we're told. And that call never came as we speak today. But the project was over. You know, so today, Victor, I have 235 pigs on my farm now. I was just talking to my son, you know, because I brought in some dogs from Ivory Coast. It just arrived today. He took the picture, he sent to me. So I just ordered some even supply from Amazon today. I'm going to be trying, whoever is going to Liberia, I will get extra suitcase and send it to my son. So, but we are trying. I'm spending money and not getting money back. I can do that because I can afford every 2 weeks to get $1 here. There are people with brilliant ideas in Liberia to do farm. They can't afford every 2 weeks to get $1. So their ideas die. You know, this is the country we are in. And every time, oh, we love agriculture. It's nonsense. They love money. They don't love no agriculture because some of us are putting so much resources. I bought 16 acres of land in my Bagley, right in the height of Monrovia. 20 million from my land to Painesville Red Line. That was the reason. I said, let me position myself to one of the biggest meat market in Monrovia so that I can just, even market women can come here and on the day we slaughter, they take, pick, and carry. I cannot get that help from government. I need, my son has the technical know-how for us to produce animal feed that can even help other farmers. Victor, you can take the cassava peeling, when you peel from to get the white tuber, that peeling, you take it, pull it in hammer mill, process it, it will come like gari, fine.
Wow.
Pig can eat it, sheep can eat it, chicken can eat it. It's high quality energy. It's the same as giving corn to your animal. Because what you get from corn is energy. You get the same thing from cassava. My son learned how to do that. I got a video that I can share with you. When he came from Nigeria, we bought a Gary machine. We said, okay, since we don't have money, the $7,000 to buy a hammer mill, let's buy the hammer mill and try so your knowledge can die. We produce it. And we fed our animal with it. We selected 10 animals. We said, let's feed these 10 animals. And we take their weight before we started feeding. And 14 days later, let's check how much weight they have gained. And the result was astronomical. These pigs gain on average 50 pounds. We will give our result to the agriculture guys. Hello, we tested this. We got the data. So we can produce and we can make the animal grow fast with this. We never got our money. That country is corrupt. That's why
Well,
many times Liberia
you
does
know,
not need help.
very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But let me ask you this: as you're lending. So would you say then that this process, because I think we're addressing the audit report, and you're just giving us one of your subjective examples, of what you had to go through. Was this process? Do you think just rigorous, or were they just putting you through the hoops? When in fact, they had their own little informal, assessment and granting process ongoing.
Mr. Namwe, this process was not rigorous. Imagine the last stage, the award stage. They say the people, I think they call the investment fund committee. They say
And
the
Robert said,
award.
Robert wants you to know that stage is not the last stage. He says it's not the so-called last stage.
No,
I don't know
the
why it's
last, let me tell you, the last stage is the forum that is chaired by what? The Minister of Finance, right? Where they make the final order. But the people who now, what I consider, they call it investment fund. The reason why I consider in last stage, they are the one who will now say, okay, you apply for 200,000. So after talking to you on the phone, what you explain, you qualify for 150,000. So they will now take that recommendation and put it on the big committee, the Minister Forum table now and say this group at 150,000. Okay? So that's what I consider, because when it comes from them now, the minister they're not seeing you. They're going with that group recommendation. So this is what I consider the last stage. So in theory, we can say it's not the last stage, but in reality, when these guys speak to you, the group that you can see you, they can only call you on the telephone. So, look, Victor, I can add another piece. I can even send the picture. In 2023, in 2024, July, I was in Liberia. I went to Kari to buy a variety of cassava because I try to get in cassava production. Kari got different variety, more than 7, different variety of cassava. I went there. When I went to buy cassava, I even bought a pig from there that day to add to my stock, even though I didn't need to have more. But the woman said she brought it from Ghana. There was different breed, so I wanted to add that to my breed. Because when you're raising animal, it's about breed collection. You need to have different breeds. So I went to the animal science department. I met a man, a gentleman who didn't know me. He's a professor of agriculture at Codington. And when I took my phone in my bag, and he said, "Oh, is John Jala your son?" I said, "Yes, John Jala is my son." He said, "Yeah, you're doing great." I was one of those selected by agriculture ministry to be on the monitoring team who got to your farm, and that was the best animal farm that I ever visited on the whole tour. He said it to me. I was encouraged. I came back, I told my son, I said, "Man, you're doing great. I wish I had more money to pay you," because even I carry, I came across somebody who didn't know me, but I just talked with my farm, and he said, "We are the best," and you call your name, so it means you're doing a fantastic job. I'm telling you reality. So that process, I don't know whether it was regular, but I think it was Liberian process. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much, man. And again, I don't know what I should say. I just empathize with you. But I'm just shocked that I've heard a lot of good things being said about Dr. Nuta and his style of administration. And for this story to be coming out in the press like this, I'm just kind of really, I'm a little bit, underwhelmed. But hopefully, there'll be more explanation to what's happening. The other topic here that we have is former President Johnson Sirleaf says Liberia is still far from reconciliation despite the National Healing Initiative. The former president is saying that we're far from reconciliation. Um, Mr. Diggs, um, is there a place to try to pull court on this? I mean, I have a lot of respect for her, and I also have my own issues with her. But I think this thing that her former vice president started, she could have. I don't know. I just feel like she could have probably done similar or more, but she didn't. And this man is starting something. How about we just give him, the encouragement and the you know acknowledgement. But to say this sounds to me like it's very very much uh unaccommodating on her part. What do you think?
Well, I just got a simple answer. She was she was there for 12 years. What did she do towards reconciliation? I mean, she was there for 12 years, and we saw Jenkins Scott lying on the in the yard, the Temple of Justice, like a peasants, and people made fun of that. So at least President Booker started a process. But you know what? In all honesty, she couldn't have done it. She couldn't have reburied President Thurber, because then that means she would have to bury Samuel Doe too. So she couldn't see herself doing that. So that's why she just let it just slide. I mean,
Right.
let's be honest with ourselves here. Yeah.
Sylvester, what do you think? Is the former president helping the process? Is she hindering the process? I mean, what's up with this remark coming from her?
I was a little distracted. So what was the? Is it that you
Well,
said?
it is being reported, and I saw this, but I didn't read the whole story. So Jerome, he picked up as a topic. Says here, ex president Shirley says Liberia still far from reconciliation, despite the National Healing Initiative. We're still far from reconciliation, and I don't think she's I don't think she's wrong, but I think it just is not accommodating to me to the president's effort that he's making right now. That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think, and she's right by saying we stay far. But I would have thought that she would have been one of those to, I mean, a victim of the system at the time. She would have been one of those person in a more realistic tone to initiate a kind of comprehensive reconciliatory thing in the country, right? Bring all the sides together and show that there's this genuine peace and reconciliation. We don't expect people to be 100% reconciled, right? But at least you can reduce that level of animosity that we have in our heart for one another. We can change the perspective. We change the perspective from versus they are this group of party and we are that group of party. We change the perspective from the line of what the Samuel do. We understand she went through some toll suffering. The pain and suffering, if you were to reflect on it, is difficult. But then a true reconciliation is where you want to think you forgive someone for the wrong they meted against you. You wouldn't forget, but you forgive the person. You move on. And I think she didn't. She was not very good at that, and she didn't reconcile the country. It's difficult, basically, but I thought she should. But having said that, she's not wrong by saying what she said. The country is deeply state divided. Imagine our recent past last month, no, the month before the unification day, exchanges between our current and immediate past president. You saw that the both side trailing accusation of who did this and who did that. That was a clear show that the country leadership is not reconciled, right? So there's a need, and beyond the leadership, even surrogates of both major political parties are always trailing accusations, attacks, those kind of a combative way of changing ideas and all of things. Instead of we being the country as young professional intellectuals who engage in productive and innovative ideas to project the country moving forward, we haven't done that, and so we're far from it. And you understand, just yesterday when the president was heavily divided again. So I think the former president's own disposition here is that it's just trying to mirror what's unfolding in the country. Just yesterday, Mr. Nambe, you saw folks of the United Party posting to Mr. Weah, saying that Mr. Weah went to their watch football game, and the other folks saying, hey, Papa, you want to do serious thing, you're talking, he's speaking beautiful English. I mean, so we divided. So Madam Sirleaf, though she didn't succeed in reconciling the country, but she's right by that. The country is deeply divided. If you listen to the talk of the last time, they serve the story they gave. They're not happy as to what happened to their parents and all those things. How can we carry out genuine reconciliation? It's a kind of an engagement process. How can we initiate those things so that it will come from the heart of those? The intent of it, first and foremost, was the time she was president, actually, when the Truth and Reconciliation Commission came out to push these things. But the commission itself was deeply polarized and divided. So they had their own sentiments, and so they failed. If that commission could fail, the leadership of our country, so we need a very true leader that will initiate this lasting reconciliation agenda in the country. How do you go about doing that? You first and foremost instruct your agents, your surrogates, Those that you got complete control of. Say to them that this time that we move this control forward, there is no unity party, there is no this party. I'm the president of every Liberian. So if any Liberian is competent and qualified, I will bring them in my own government. But if you were to now say this happened, that happened, and the immediate past government people came before that time and say, okay, the mayor say we carry him to the hospital, we pay this, we pay that. So it's serious. It's a problem. So I don't know if we will start that beginning when the women return to the country tomorrow, or genuine reconciliation will start. But Madam Sally is very right on that we're far from it. And you're going to see the debate, and you will see the debate from different social platforms, political platforms. The fact that we will have to secure a mindset or a national agenda to be more or less realistic in terms of the approaches we take to healing the country, because people are still grieving. The pains are there. The suffering being dead for a long time. How do we conduct the healing process? And that is the major stake we have, and that we need a kind of a president that will go beyond all of the petty issues and just foster genuine reconciliation. And by that, you be very genuine from the heart, from the bottom of the heart, that you call people that attacked you before, did this to you before, and say, I'm prepared to work with you, and work with you in the sense that spirit of unity that the country always can push. We are a great country. The name of the country will tell you, Liberia, the land of liberty, right? How can we project those things so that we echo across for people to understand that it's a genuine, so that how the Frenchmen will call it Liberia, right? So Liberia. So you see, so the Frenchmen love the name. When you call Liberia name, the Frenchmen say, certain pays, tout le monde est libre, so everybody is free. So that's the kind of a way we want to structure it. It should be from the core and from the heart. So President Sadi is not wrong actually, but I think we as people too, Mr. Nambe, we all can begin to initiate that. Sometimes we on the show, you'll see Joma Jara will attack because people say something about unity, but no, Joma Jara should attack on the substance. Joma Jara should not just attack on the issue of the sentiments. No, I should attack on the substance also, not on the sentiment. That should cross across. Gongloe should not just come on the show to take him a call when you call Councilor Gongloe name. No, it should be on the basis of you should agree with me if I don't want to criticize Councilor Gongloe who want to be president of Liberia. That's the sense of true reconciliation. That's it. And also that's how we should do things.
Pewee,
Yeah.
I was going. Hang on,
I have a
Clever.
commitment to my conscience and truth.
Hang on, Mr. Gongloe. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to go to Siliki.
I know when you quiet, I'll bring you back.
I was going to go to
I have
Siliki,
a commitment to the truth and my conscience. That's it.
Okay.
but since Sylvester is saying your name, so I'll come to you, Mr. Gongloe. Let me ask you. You work for this president. Your brother worked for this president. Your sister worked for this president, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So I would think,
Well, I work for the governor of Liberia.
yeah. I mean, you worked for the government of Liberia during her presidency.
Because my CV is there, the Republic of Liberia, not LM Johnson said.
Okay, I take that.
I'm sure you on people Republic of Liberia.
Yeah. So, but let me ask you this, and where I'm going with this is, I think you have a certain degree of familiarity with, or thinking. Do you think she should have made these comments? I mean, given her stature and given how divided we know this country is, if you look at the election results and all of
Well, Feta, here's all I'll say. In fact, I made a very statement in a phone call here on one of the days when I think that was the last reburial event at Baptist Seminary. There was a show here and I made a comment. I was not on the show, but I made a phone call, I believe, to Mr. Gilman and I spoke. And I think the mistake we make is to think that when someone is president, okay, when you're president, you are in a different class. But when you former president, you former minister, you former legislator, you former judge or justice of the Supreme Court. I say a Liberian, you are still entitled to your constitutional right to hold opinion. to freely express yourself. And that freedom of expression, it is a natural right. That's why in a country, when people attempt to suppress it, it always does not end good in our country. This is why the July 17 protest, or I don't call protest, the July 17 whatever rally by a group of Liberians are supported because it is their constitutional right to express themselves in the manner in which is peaceful, that they are able to express their pain to their elected officials and to their countrymen. I support it. I may not be in a position to agree with some of the issues that are listed, but even if it is just 5% are standing in front of the executive mansion and with a flag, I support that. Even if it is just one person that is standing there, I support it. Because so Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has that right as a former president and first as a Liberian to express that. But the view she expressed, it was the exact view that I expressed on the day of the reburial of the 13 people, okay, or the ceremony, because they can't find about it, so I don't call it reburial. But the symbolic, whatever was done. You know, reconciliation is a process. It's not an event. So what took place on that day was an event. The process of reconciling, you know, continues. And I will call on President Bouaka again, like I did that day.
No, Kehleboe, I understand where you're going and you will continue. I'm not debating the veracity of what you're saying. What you're saying is true. But are these remarks helping the process in your
Yeah,
understanding?
in my mind, I think what President Sirleaf is trying to do is exactly what I did on that day, to give a pointer and say, listen, we should not just be excited about the event, which tends to create emotion, and people may say, some may think that it is an end in itself. It's not, because that event has actually brought up other issues. For example, Frank Zameton's son wrote a very heart-touching article on the reburial of Samuel Doe, the state funeral he was giving. Frank Zameton's son wrote, has any of you read his piece? He's a masterful writer. He wrote expressing the circumstances under which his father was cold-blooded murdered. And he put that blame on President Doe and said, how you give such a person a state burial and not my father? So even in Nima community, in the different chat room, the issue of Jackson F. Doe, the issue of Kuokwa reburial, the issue of all of Nima citizens are a major debate now. So this one event has actually created a forum that President Bouaka should seize on now and maybe establish the national, I don't know, I would say reconciliation and reburial, whatever. You should look for a better name and call it to continue this dialogue at the grassroots level, you know, at the sub-national level, to go and say, okay, they are hurt in other districts. There were some chiefs who stood up and said, we can't have the two forces fighting. I was working in Sino. I saw Nyenwolo level like a savannah land. And I said, who did this? I think Nyenwolo is Crew. And they said it was a war between Crew and Sapo in Nyenwolo. I said, what? Even Nima, where the war took place, they never level of town like this. Okay? So when you go to Sano, you meet different set of issues. There were some chiefs who stood up to be hero, that they should not fight, but they were slaughtered. Locally, these people may even demand a reburial and symbolic recognition. So you need to have a national movement now that sees on this opportunity created for a general process of reconciliation to continue. We should not stop just at a symbolic thing. If we stop at that, and I think that's the point President Sirleaf is making. Because if we stop at that, then we undermine the whole process itself. Then we become like Whether you speak good English, you don't speak good English, we'll make fun out of it.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Kroman, Mr. Vice President of the Liberian Association of the
Yeah,
Liberian
so
Association in Kigali. Um, this president seems to be taking a glass half empty attitude toward this process. Do you do you agree that she is right in expressing what she did to sober us up and face off with the reality, or you think she should have been a little bit more accommodating?
no, I think we have to kind of create room for truth telling. You know, her statement is a fact. Anybody following the current reality in Liberia, the two different reburial program that was held by the government of Liberia and that of the program they had at the ministerial complex. It's not enough to reconcile the country. And someone would say the government is not even, honest about what they say they are doing to reconcile the country. Because here is the thing, though.
Just a second, Sidiki. Guys, there's feedback coming in. Thank you.
Okay, because there is a thing, Mr. Gamer, and if I'm wrong, somebody can come in and say, yes, you can do that. At the same time doing the other thing.
Mr. Gamer
Uh,
is the Bassa guy. I'm the Gribble guy.
okay, Mr. Lambe. So the president in an effort to want to, you know, reconcile the country, for people to account for what they do or what they did during the Civil War, the president, uh, established the War Economic Crimes Code, and since then there have been different people being appointed to head that code. And Liberians have not seen anybody being held accountable for any of the crimes committed during the war. And you come up, you initiate a reburial process, and you are being very selective, and followed by a big program you had at the ministerial complex and all of that. So for me, I would just want to know, like, after everything, let's forget about President Salih's statement. After everything, like the reburial of President Doe, President Talbot, and the program they had a week ago. So, what does that mean? Does it mean that the war chronicle is not going to proceed again? Because remember now, on that program they had at the ministerial complex, the president openly apologized for all the killings, the bad things that took place. He said, as the father and president of the country, I apologize to every victims of the Civil War. So if you come up and apologize, we're not saying the president will want to do that. So what does your apology not affect your stand for accountability, most especially the code you already established? So for me, this is where I really would want to know if it's okay, in any country you want to reconcile, you at the same time you want to hold people accountable and all of that. So does that seem normal? So for me personally, I think President Sally don't even need to make that kind of statement she made. And by the way, I don't even know when that statement came up. I don't know if it's today or a week ago or whenever it is. But I'm not really sure Liberians are talking about it. And a lot of people don't even know that she issued a statement like that. So for us to think that her statement we have the ability to spark up things in the country or to now want for other people to come on board to reconcile. Yes, she's a very influential person. She's the former president of the country, but I'm not really sure Liberians are really following her, or taking into consideration what she's saying and all of that. Because maybe if the statement came up today, yeah, we'll say, okay, let's wait in the next days to come and see what the statement is going to do. But for me, the government need to be clear about what they want. If you want to reconcile the country, you bring people together, let's move forward. You do that. But if you want to hold people accountable, Mr. Nangbe, and if you really can help me understand something, I would really appreciate it. Is it normal that you reconcile the country through the different programs the government been having recently, and that of at the same time trying to hold people accountable. Is that normal? If you're doing that, are you not being seen as somebody who don't even know what you want to do? If you want to hold people accountable, hold the people accountable through the war crime code you establish. And right after that one, few people go to jail, but it seems like the whole war crime code thing was just about Prince Johnson. And since Prince Johnson passed out, now they want to reconcile the country. The president apologizing, telling Liberians to forgive whatsoever happened during the Civil War. Because that is exactly, in fact, some of the UP people, they were passing around posting or reposting that statement on Facebook. So for me, that's just my point.
Thank you very much, guys. We have about 5 minutes, 4 minutes or so, to shut it down. Mr. Gibman, as I said, he had an emergency. I don't believe he's coming back. So why don't we all do our closing? You can close on any of the topics. We talked about the president's trip to the U.S. His presentation yesterday, and now, the day after. What we've seen other presidents do on the sidelines of this trip, and what we could have done. So we talked about that. Then, of course, we also talked about the audit report from the Ministry of Agriculture. So far as I see here, there is a commercial court activity seizure that's going on here, but I think we'll probably punt that to tomorrow or so, another day. But you can use about a minute or two for your closing. We can start with you, Mr. Deeks. And if Mr. Kurman comes back, he'll go. Then Mr. P will be last.
Yeah, thank you. Great show, guys. Like I said, the president trip to the U.S. is all about wait and see. I mean, it was a short trip, so we'll wait and see what follow up, and then pertaining to the GSC audit report. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, the government has to be intentional about revitalizing the agricultural sector. You can't be doing these tiny bits and pieces, initiative. If you really want to be an agri-based economy, you got to invest in it. And then with the audit report for LTA, we didn't talk about the LTA indictment, so I would just put on that. And then I
Yeah,
mean, like,
that was just the breaking piece. I don't know if we have all the details. They just came across the wire in Jerome, so I think we'll come back again on another day. But you can
okay,
speak.
yeah.
You can speak
No,
to it if you please.
I would just wait till we get more information on that. And then
Okay.
pertaining to reconciliation, like what Gongloe said, I mean, it's a process, not an event. It's a process, and it's also incumbent on us all to be part of that process. So at the end of the day, we should think on one Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. While Sylvester is getting ready, I mean Sidiki, then Sylvester. Programming note here. Dr. Peabody was on yesterday, but I think he forgot. I think tomorrow the platform should be hosting the Monrovia College Alumni Association. The guys from there should be coming up tomorrow, the first hour or so. I don't have authorization to announce this, but it's in the chat room, so I think he meant to do that. He probably forgot. So I'm just putting it out there. Tomorrow, the first hour will be devoted to officers and members of the Monrovia College Alumni Association. I think they call themselves the Monkeys, if I'm not mistaken. So tomorrow, save the date. Mr. Kraman, your turn. Closing.
Yeah, thanks. I think it was a great show and always good to be here. I don't know why Mr. Gabin could not proceed with the news he brought up today about the LACC might likely indict a few former government officials who are currently suspended, and that include Abdullah Kamara from LTA. For me, I really wish the government can have more evidence because this seems to be a normal case in Liberia that might likely come up with an indictment and then they don't have enough evidence against those guys and then they will just be in court for months, and even possible a year or two, and there will be no accountability. Their name will not be clear, and they will just be spending some money in the court system, and that is it. Since I think 6 months when this government came to power, they proceeded to hold Samuel Tuai and the rest of the other former officials accountable. And up to date, we've not heard anything about that. But in most countries, before you indict, anybody, you should have sufficient evidence so that when you go to court, you don't want to waste your time as a sitting government. But for us, it's just a normal practice in Liberia. We do that, and at the end of the day, it will just be that, oh, the government is serious. And by the way, if they actually indict those guys, they are going to want to use it as a political means again to be flashing on Facebook and not focusing on the substance, holding those guys accountable. They want to make it like, oh, JNB is actually fighting corruption as they've been doing in the last few weeks to come. But other than that, I think it was a good show. Liberians want to see people going to jail, especially people who are corrupt, people who are involved with corruption, and that will give us more hope that we have a different government that is really, really not taking this corruption thing lightly, and it will be a good legacy for President Parker. I hope they can do that. Uh, and even Israel, I don't know, Azikiah, that's the last name from CDC. They suspended those people from FTA and bring in Patrick Hunter and the other people. So we don't even know how far the investigation is regarding those guys and the different suspensions we've been seeing around. But let's look what the LACC get on Monday or next week, as Mr. Gibbons said earlier on. And Liberians really want to see people going to jail. For too long, we've not been able to see. Look what happened recently. The former foreign minister, they took them to court. Less than a minute, they went to Southbridge, and in an hour time, they came back. And that case is finished. It's done. You're not going to see them in court again. That's Liberia. We can't continue to play with the Liberian people like that. But thank you. It was a great show. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think what Jerome was indicating, I think there's more details to come out. Hopefully, I think it's still a developing story. The indictments. I mean, we know they're under investigation, they're suspended, all of that. So I don't think he was necessarily shying away from it. I believe we'll talk about this again when the full details of the indictments, come out. But sorry, guys. But yeah, I love you interrupted. Mr. Pewee, our young diplomat on set here. Your turn, my brother.
It was a great show. I sincerely believe that we can do better in the country. We all can rally and hope the president upon his return tomorrow. I wish the president and his entourage a very safe flight back home. I'm informed that he may and they will be airborne in the next hour or so. We just hope and pray that the president return home safely and continue doing the job of the Liberian people. The reason we Mr. President, whosoever, um, uh, the reason why we say these things sometimes is to allow you, and that is in the face of democracy, to allow you perform and do the right thing for the country. The intent is not to hit your regime or hit you. The intent is to push you so that you do more for the people. You committed to rescue us, and we need nothing short of rescue. So we hope that we'll be getting some very good news from this visit, and we also can cultivate other measures to see how you can improve the governance system of the country. We've been initiating different kind of a new governance approach, and the kind of a good governance approach that we need will also be to have some level of innovation, to think outside the box. It's not only about bringing investors or investment in the country. It's about creating worth also. The agricultural sector is there. The first approach is to be self-sufficient. If we are self-sufficient, it's the beginning of the overall revolution of moving the country forward. Rice, for instance, how many of us are growing our own rice to eat? So if all of the counties through your government put into place a kind of a progressive and proactive farming system in terms of engaging into different kind of a mechanized farming will be a great thing. And as a matter of fact, this should not be difficult for you, Mr. President, because you serve as agricultural minister before. You serve as the LPMC managing director before, and you serve in other a cooperative back in Lofa. So this should be a kind of a hands-on thing for you to do, and with the wealth of experience you have. So we hope that we shouldn't be struggling about this commerce ministry giving RPD here, RPD there. No, we can strategize to see how we can effectively put into place and revolutionize the agricultural sector where we'll go to benefit all of us and we'll be self-sufficient. And then the issue about importation of rice would be a history for us. And then that's the beginning of where we can even be exporting some of the rice that we cannot eat because we'll grow more to the extent that. So we need that strategy, and that strategy has to be headed by you and your administration. So that's what we want to see unfold. I will be disappointed, Mr. President, in the next 3-4 months. There's nothing strategic that we can hear from this visit and moving forward in terms of how you intend to push the country in terms of food security and everything. Because food security is the beginning of national security. So this is just part of what I intend to say tonight, and we pray that you have a very smooth flight, less turbulence, and get back home safely. And we look forward to see you around in the country tomorrow evening.
Thank you very much. I hope our producers in back there are following. We're about to shut it down. But yeah, just so you all know here, you spoke very beautiful English tonight. Where did you all go to school?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And thank you, sir. Yeah. But thank you guys very much.
Okay, good night.
Thank you, man.
Okay, good night. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Yep.